And we're live. Welcome back, everyone, to the Voyage of the Fallen Star, where our... Oh, gotta fix the lighting. Oh, goodness. Where our intrepid crew of adventurers is in a fight for both their lives and their brand new ship, which the dread pirate Captain Catapult is trying to steal right out from under them. He's put on some very nefarious tactics, posing as deckhands to get aboard, and then coming out and surprising the rest of the crew. And of course, right at the end of last session, Varanus, who had been formally requested by the Alabaster Academy, the Society of Wizards, to join them for a little, what might we say, a little debriefing.
A little debriefing.
Wow, sweets! You get attacked by a cat, I imagine.
their food thing just, went off. She leapt.
All right, so let's see. Let's check in with people. How about Captain Omarin Stargazer? How's Captain Omarin doing? How does he feel about this situation?
Hey everybody, I'm Austin and playing Omarin Stargazer, the captain of the ship, and he's feeling good. I mean, like he had a bit of a history with Captain Catapult. What'd I do?
I was just wondering why you're feeling good, given the situation.
Of what's happening right now. Like, what is encouraging about all this?
I mean, so he really feels like this is his opportunity to get back at Captain Catapult, who has been, the whole. He's not into this, like. He just wants to be done with Captain Catapult, and now that he's in sort of wolf form and he's transferred into a wolf, he's hungry, and he thinks Captain Catapult's tail looks delicious. So
and
there you go. He's gonna have his little snack.
Fair enough.
There's no sweeter taste than revenge, eh?
Certainly not. Excellent. Let's see, who's next? Kylum. Kylum, you're currently wrapped up by the flail of this pirate, as well as fighting off various crew, but you've held the line very well so far.
Yeah, it's been a long couple days. Previously, I dueled some Black Rifter or whatever, and now I've got to fight a bunch of pirates or something. I'm kind of wondering what all this is about, but hopefully I can protect the ship and the crew and make sure, Bungo doesn't get too messed up or anything.
Fair enough. Yeah. Cool. And, speaking of Bungo, Bungo had a little bit of a... Oof.
Yeah, so Bungo Barleybrook, well, first of all, as we were getting boarded by these pirates, Bungo, drawing his awesome hand crossbows, took up a sniper shot and took down one of these pirates who was climbing our rigging. They had an awesome, Wilhelm scream, classic adventure serial splat to the ground. And this infuriated Captain Catapult, who then promptly, I aggroed the boss, and he came right at me, and it went poorly. So I got knocked down, but I get up again. Because did you announce that we hit level 3 last time? Or
yes,
is this
new? The crew as Varanus returns to the field, all of you, even Bungo, who's fading in and out of consciousness, feel this tingle of inspiration, and daring do, as this is the first time you're on your own ship. And the threat of it being taken is just too much to bear, and you now feel stronger than ever. And which is great news for all of you because a lot of our players are now going to start dipping into the custom class options that I've crafted for this campaign. So you'll see Bungo, Kylum, Omarin also already has some of that going on, and as well as Varanus himself. So exciting stuff.
Everybody except me.
Yes. Sweetness is playing a different third-party class, not crafted by me,
Boring,
but very
other
cool.
third.
But you probably got some cool stuff at 3rd level as well.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it.
So how's Sweetness doing? How's he faring?
Hi, I'm Blake. I play Sweetness, the fastidious, curious, increasingly anxious ship's surgeon. Man, I think insult to injury here. I think Sweetness has just been having a bad day, followed by another bad day. Just come back from gathering all his materials. He kind of blew up on Captain. His name's escaping me.
Ramius.
Ramius blew up on Captain Ramius. He's sort of huffing and puffing, bringing all of his stuff back to the ship, only to discover that they're under attack. He overpays to have someone watch his things. I think that's not sitting very well with him. Nagging at the back of his head. I can't believe I paid that much. And yeah, I think he's just sort of arriving. Really, what happened? He saw those bad guys walking toward the ship.
The Black
They saw
Rifters.
him. He took off running, so he didn't even know that the ship's being attacked, and he's just run back to see the ship sailing out to sea,
Right.
slowly
Inching away from the dock. Yeah.
Yeah, in battle upon it. So I think, he's flustered to say the least.
Very
ready
nice.
for battle.
Yeah. And who do we have left to check in? None other but Varanus himself. He, as a player, missed last session, and his character missed most of last session too. So we'll see.
Yes. I mean, hello everyone. I'm Chad. I am playing Varanus. I think off screen, as Zach hinted at, there's a little meeting with I guess we'd call them the magic authorities here in the Greenwald realm. Given that Varanus was a person of interest at the big scuff up at the Mage's Tower. What's that mage's name?
Sendrail the Stargazer.
Sendrail. Brought some attention onto him that forced him to, have to meet with them. But, whatever relief he felt leaving that meeting has quickly been redirected as he realizes the ship is under attack at the docks. And, Varanus had a pretty famously failed voyage in his past, and that one got a little further along than this one has so far, but he's not content to see their voyage be disrupted before it even really truly begins. So he steps onto this ship looking like quite the pissed off dragonborn.
Excellent. And yes, Varanus dips further into his wizarding class. The only multi-class character among us. Very fun. Always to have that. All right. At the start of this session, right, you guys are in a real big fight. You had one pirate taken down. Bungo was down and out for a little bit, but he seems like he might pull through. I'm going to give an option. Would you guys like to spend 2 story points to have your gear get aboard the ship as you're leaving port, so you don't have to go back for it?
That feels kind of worth it to me.
Looks like Sweetness agrees. No, he's muted.
If we look on the shore, Zach.
Yes.
If we look on the shore, do we see anybody who is clearly does not have our best interests at heart.
More pirates.
It does.
Maybe,
Well,
or like, I don't know, some black grifters or something like that.
no one has quite the vantage point. I guess Sweetness, he might. Sweetness, you do see.
I'm on the shore. I don't know if I have your best interest.
Sweetness, yeah, you do see a couple familiar faces shoving through the crowd again. The Black Rifters have circled back. They don't seem to see you yet, because they're sort of surrounded by screaming people, right? Sweetness, you had sent up the alarm, right, about the pirates. Which of course in a peaceful harbor is not a welcome sight. So, yes, so you guys agree to 2 story points to get your gear?
Worth. I disagree because I think we can live off the bounty of the sea.
I don't know that I want to
Overruled.
Because
Fair enough.
whatever it may have gotten onto the ship, my stuff is not on the ship.
Well, I'm saying your stuff, all your stuff that you had been bringing will get on the ship. Yeah. That's the deal here with these story points.
Okay.
Yes.
How? Yes. Done.
That's
I
deal.
paid a lot of gold.
All right. For 2 story points, we get that, and so we'll see what happens. In the meantime, the 3, this fella at the back of the ship, he's like, Captain, there's a mage just transported in here. What are our orders, Captain? And he's like, gang up on the wolf. Take that wolf down. And they're like, aye, aye. And so these 2 guys charge in towards you, O'Marin.
Question real quick, Zach. Do
Yes.
I need to roll into the initiative order here?
Oh, yes, you do. So make sure to select
I'll do that right.
token.
Select my
and...
target. Yep. Select my
Yep.
token. And I believe it's on the core page here. Cool.
All right, and sort those again. So I think we should all be good. All right. So yes, these two sort of, well, more common pirates, shall we say, are charging Captain O'Marin in his wolf form. Captain Catapult seems very against him, and yeah, they just lash out with their scimitars. Oh, first attack is a miss, but second attack looks like it's gonna land.
Crit.
All right,
No,
not a real crit. But 7 slashing damage as their scimitars cut some fur and little hairy bits off O'Marin. The third one, now that Kylam is sort of grappled, he sort of sidles around, trying to get into a better position. And seeing Kylam is definitely an experienced foe, right? He's going to try to disarm you by taking a called shot.
All right. I see why you might think that might work.
Yes. Well, he's going to spend a story point on it.
Oh no!
How
No,
did the
we
game
really-
get all these story points?
Yeah.
That's what I
how
don't
does this? How is this possible? This doesn't seem right.
So, for the audience, right, called shots is a house rule. Basically, you take disadvantage and you can inflict some sort of penalty, negative condition temporarily on the target if you end up hitting. So I'm spending a story point to negate that disadvantage.
Is smart.
Ooh.
19, really?
Wow.
A 19. All right.
All
You
right.
got me.
So with your, you're grappled by the flail of this other pirate with the eye patch, and that allows his comrade to come in and just wrench your main weapon from your hands.
Yeah, the rapier just goes like flying away.
And you take
ancestral shore.
you take 4 slashing damage in the process.
I have 18 AC for what it's worth. That is a tough one. Ouch.
Let's get a sword token on the map just to see if we can.
Sorry, you said 4 damage? Yeah, okay. Got it.
Yeah, 4 damage. Not much.
All right. So yeah, the rapier goes like flying out of my hands. We all see it like go through the air in like slow motion. Let's see where it lands.
Yeah, why don't you roll me a
Right
d8 to give the direction.
All right.
Oh, that's a big sword.
Oh.
A 7.
All right.
So I assume that we were doing like a 1, 2, 3.
Top
4,
left.
5, 6,
Yeah, 1, 2,
7, 8,
3,
9
4,
thing.
5, 6, 7. So it goes straight over the pirate bosun's head and lands on the ground, but at the feet of Hal Hawkshaw, who is your recently promoted quartermaster and former owner of the Cerulean Wind, your very ship.
Possibly trustworthy guy.
Yes. Former Black Rifter, but he's put those days behind him, so he says.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, Captain O'Marin, remember that damage you took before should go to the wolf's health. So I think the wolf took 7, so it should be at 4 now.
Can you imagine if every time you said anything, everybody was like, "So he says."
That would be annoying.
All right, so surrounded by these pirates, catapult all the way across the deck. What do you do, O'Marin?
I am up. So O'Marin is going to he's gonna go in for the bite on this one. This right here.
Beautiful. Just lovely.
All right.
Item.
He's gonna give him a chomp. Attempt to.
Don't you still have like the brain of a person? It's like you're just choosing to bite this guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so disengage is a move action, right?
No, it's a full normal action to disengage. Yeah.
Standard action.
Normal action. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Unless your wolf has anything special about that, but I don't think it does.
No, wolves only have pack tactics and keen smell.
Well,
I think.
Pack Taxis is pretty good.
yeah, but I can't get away from these guys.
Right. He needs an ally nearby.
Well, if you want,
you could delay.
you could disengage
Or
or delay or set a
You
trigger.
could fetch my sword.
or attack.
He's gonna go in for the bite.
All right.
Oh.
So you should have a macro. There you go. Oh.
Not a very good bite.
Unfortunately, yes. These pirates are, they've already tasted your blood, and they're not going to let you taste theirs. Anything else?
Yeah. Wolf O'Marin is gonna move to there.
All right. That will draw an attack of opportunity.
Oh, you're right. Never mind. I'm not gonna do that. I'm bad at the game.
Bad at the game.
All right. So if you don't have anything else, O'Marin embattled in the middle of the ship. Meanwhile, Captain Catapult, he sees that Kylum, probably the best fighter aboard by his estimation, being such a savvy blade
He's the best fighter on
himself.
the dock, though.
He
Got bad news for you.
comes in and gracefully scoops up your blade.
Wow.
Oh, that's just terrible.
So I'll just move it over here next to the ballista. But Catapult now has your sword in hand, and he's like, "Oh, what a beautiful sword! I wonder how she cuts!" And he goes in to slash at you several times.
Several.
However, first he goes in with his hook, right? He's got a hooked hand, and he's going to try, well, to disarm your other sword.
Wow, look at this jerk.
So you need to make a DC 13 strength saving throw.
All right, here we go.
Yes!
Oh,
20.
very nice. So you're for dear life, you're holding on to your remaining blade.
Yeah.
And Catapult's like, and he just uses that hooked blade to try and stab at you several times with this rapier of yours.
Now keep in mind, I am 1 AC short because one of my AC points came from dual wielding.
Exactly.
Which I am no longer
Oh.
doing.
All right.
That sucks.
Yeah. All right, I blocked that one. That one gets me.
Ah.
Oh, and the third one.
Yeah. So
Not
of the
so
3
much.
hits, there's a lot of like little jabs coming in, and I'm able to like parry, but clearly like there's one spot where like I should have been able to parry the second one with the other blade, like it's alternating. It's like
Yeah.
And it sneaks through. Ooh, for max damage roll of
God.
11.
Well, between that and the hook, I'm looking pretty messed up. I am on my last legs. You could say that if you were to measure my ability to stay standing, you would say that I'm gonna be only have 2 points of that remaining.
2 points in this sort of abstraction of points of you being able to stand. Yeah.
Right.
If only we had a healer or a surgeon coming up anytime soon.
And Catapult, with a dramatic flourish, he points your own weapon towards the chinks in your armor, and he's like, "Yield, you magnificent swordsman, and I may let you live and join my owned crew. I could use blades like yours at my side." So that's what he says. Meanwhile, Sweetness on the docks, not far away.
I'm really hoping Varanus would come up first so he could perhaps give the wheel a turn and bring the ship closer. Alas, I can see that the jump, it looks like it's 7-8 feet distance. That's a sizable jump.
But you got to go a little bit higher too.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
is the deck higher up?
Not too much higher, but like 5 feet higher.
Okay, Is there anything on the side of the ship that?
There's definitely handholds for sure.
Okay, or like
Yeah, remember they had cut off the mooring ropes, so maybe some some of that's dangling.
So yeah,
still.
if there's like a rope maybe hanging off the side, I think I'd like to go for that. Real quick, I wanted to, since I have called for the the dock watch or dock guards, anything on that front? Is it just hustle and bustle?
It's still hustle and bustle. You'd have to take your time to make a perception check to see if there's anyone more recognizable coming closer.
All right, I don't think it'll change what I'm going to do. Sure,
well, what is Sweetness's strength score?
It's a 0.
Well, that means if you get a running start, you can automatically clear 10 feet. So it'd just be a matter of making sure you grab onto the side strong enough.
Oh my god. I don't see anything on the dock too that I'm like, an anchor. No, he's not thinking that hard. All right, I'm gonna run and jump. Oh, this is a terrible idea.
All right, give me an athletics check.
I believe in you, man.
Grab onto the side.
I mean, do we have any more story points?
You have 4 story points right now.
I think getting on the ship is important,
Yeah, I'm gonna give you another story point, Zach.
All right.
Just promise not to use it on me. All right,
Captain Catapult makes no promises.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
First way I can...
Here we go.
So you're easily able to clear over the guardrail, right, and land planted squarely next to Kylum. And Catapult is another foe approaches.
I can't do anything.
No, that was just movement. So
That was
you've
just
got
movement.
yeah, you've got action, bonus action.
Okay,
Oh.
how much of my movement was that? I have 40 feet. but my speed is 40.
Well, you had to get a running
Climbing.
start, which required 10, and then you jumped another like. So I'll say you used 25 feet total.
Okay. And how far is Bungo in the order?
I'm
You could
pretty
get
far
to
down.
him with
I'm
the.
just-
Yeah, you'd have to climb up difficult terrain here because it's like the next sort of deck. It's the foredeck.
So I actually have
um,
I have the mobile feet.
Yeah.
Harold is more
So-
fucked up than I am, for the record, right now.
And I don't
Pounds
know
at
where.
2.
Yeah, Bungo looks like he's messed up, but he's sort of playing. He gives you a wink as you come aboard.
Oh, you're okay. You're not down anymore.
No.
Okay. Then
I mean,
I'm gonna
he's on his-
attack. Can I use my bonus action to do my critical analysis on Captain
Absolutely.
Catapult? Is he
Alright.
within range? Do I need to move one more?
Yeah,
Can't
you'll need to
really.
move up next to Sweetness or next to Kylo.
Kylan. Okay.
Yeah, the grids are a little messy here because there's, yeah, but
Yeah, and I'll give him a good old fashioned short sword attack, and I'll use one of my my maneuvers on him. I think.
ooh,
I know. Let me.
Some
I'll
of them-
use.
Some of them say, Blake, you might want to look. You don't have to use them until like you know you hit already, depending on which ones you have.
This one. Okay, none of them are that. So I'm going to use lacerate on him. So I'll roll a superiority die, and it will cause a lacerating wound. And I'll add the number rolled to the damage of the weapon attack, and the creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d4 necrotic damage at the end of each of its turns for 1 minute, or until it or another creature uses its action to stop the bleeding.
fair enough.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I just meant I
Oh.
don't think you have to use it if you miss with your attack. I mean.
Okay. Yeah, I think that is how the maneuvers work.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's
Okay.
it's some of each. I think they're all a little different.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, like precision attack.
Did
is a
not
lot
mean to do
different.
that with advantage, but
That's
it was a
okay. We take
25.
the first one. That's a hit. So
Attaboy.
roll me that extra damage, and you get another D4, I think, from your critical
I
analysis
do.
as well.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do a roll d4. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I roll the d6 for the lacerating damage. All right.
Yeah.
Oof. All right, so we have 15 coming in to Catapult. He does not like that. And yeah, you slice him up pretty good with that short sword attack. He was just not expecting, you didn't look like much
I
of a
leapt
fighter,
onto them.
right?
Ah! And
Yeah.
Could I use the mobile feat now to move?
Yes.
The guy next to him will get an opportunity attack, but I think
true.
I'm going to take it. But yeah, I can use the dash. Oh, I see. So difficult terrain only doesn't cost me if I use the dash action.
Ah, I see. But I think you still have enough movement to get next to
Yeah.
Bungo if you wish.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. I would get just sort of. He doesn't like to be directly in the fray.
All right.
So yeah, I'll just move over by Bungo and take the.
All right. So the pirate bosun, he's got his flail tying up Kylum, so he uses his offhand weapon, his light hammer, to go at you, and it's just too slow. Yeah, much too slow for you to catch.
I say the doctor is in.
I could use a doctor, says Captain Catapult. I'll hire you. Become part of my crew. This is an open offer to everyone,
Just
by the
thinking
way.
about.
I appreciate that he's making the attempt.
You seem desperate,
I know.
Catapult. We're not interested.
I
Is that a ghost I hear? I don't.
to Bungo.
All right.
And that completes my turn.
All right. In that case, the pirate bosun, he, with Kylum, still grappled here. He's gonna try to and also disarmed of one of his swords. He's gonna try to shove you off the ship.
Oh wow!
Again, yes.
Please don't let
So
him do that.
give me an athletics or acrobatics check.
All right, gonna go with a bit of the old. Actually, I totally forgot that I'm playing like a Dexident. Acrobatics then.
All right. Oh, he gets a 19
Wait, did he
because
roll a 19?
I did
yes,
a
he has
19.
advantage because he is a cargo hauler. And
what
so
even is that? He's a cargo hauler.
well, he's a bosun. He's like big and burly. He picks up crates, one crate or barrel in each arm when he loads ships. So he's a big,
Frickin'
burly man.
Popeye.
And he just booshes you over the side of the ship, allowing his flail to untangle as you splash into the water in your chainmail armor, I believe.
Yeah.
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 Very well, very well. Varanus, you're still getting your disorientation. You just got teleported here, which has now been twice in one day. You've teleported. Yeah. How does teleportation feel when you come out of it?
Oh, not so good for Varanus. You know, they weren't much of teleporters. The Aldoth clan that he hails from. So I imagine he just when he comes back from teleporter, he's just like, and then he looks and it's just like, oh.
Like disapparating, when you disapparate and you're nauseous and.
Yeah, but he realizes he's got to shake it off very quickly. I assume the mages just sent me.
Yes, after you dealt with them, you've been sent back to your ship after reaching, well, whatever agreement or disagreement you reached.
Man, okay. Well. I guess I'm up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I can't because of Kylum.
Just
but I think what I can do is help disperse some of these people because we are very outnumbered at the moment, eh? So I grab my staff, and I believe if I come down these steps here, it looks like to get next to where Omarin and wolf form is be my full 30 feet of movement right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will move to here, and then what I'd like to do is use my I tap my staff down, sort of hitting the wood of the staff, the driftwood against the wood planks of the ship, and I try to aim my Thunder Wave spell, which is a 15-foot cube originating from me. So obviously I want
that was my misruling the last time. So originating from you, meaning it has to be placed adjacent. Right.
Yeah.
Adjacent to your
so what I want to do, I don't know, could I catch all three of these guys here?
No, this guy here, he's not close. He's not adjacent to these two. Again, the gridding's a little weird.
That's all right. But I think what I could at least do is potentially push. If I get these two here, I push them over the edge.
Yes, that's certainly possible.
So yeah, I slam my staff down, and they make. I guess what I could do is just click this, which will help you. Con saves.
Yes.
Yes. My save DC is 13.
Oh, left one makes it, and the right one, so they only take half damage.
Zach, you're just rolling so well. That's good. That's really good.
The pirates are on their game today.
They'll each take 5 thunder damage.
Damage.
Because they saved, I don't think they're pushed.
Nope, no push.
Is too bad.
So this peal of thunder echoes across the ship, but they being seasoned pirates, right, grab the nearest bit of rope or ledge or whatever and hold tight to prevent from being knocked back. Anything else for a bonus action?
No, that's gonna do it for me.
All right. Kylum, in the water, you need to make me... Well, what do you do? If you try to swim, you'll, of course, have disadvantage because of your heavy armor.
Oh boy.
I mean, I have some actions that I want to do.
Yeah.
I will say, how high up is the deck from where I am?
10 feet.
Oh, 10 feet. Okay, that's not
Yeah.
bad. Okay, so... I mean, I have some stuff that I want to do, basically, like, some actions in the water. To do that, am I going to have to swim, like, to make, like, a swim check just to stay afloat first? Or can I just be doing my actions? Because I'm not, like, planning to move, really. Just staying afloat.
Well, do you need to speak to do these actions?
Probably.
Yes, then you'll probably need
yes.
give me an athletics check with disadvantage to stay afloat.
Jeez.
These pirates are pesky buggers.
16.
Oh, that's good enough. All right.
Yeah.
You right yourself in the water, tread. What next?
Yeah, I a little frustrated, right? Like the last round had, my allies are in danger. I got disarmed and thrown overboard. It wasn't my best showing, but I'm not one to let this keep me down. I'm gonna get right back into the fight. So the first thing that I do is I will use my bonus action to I make like a little hand gesture with my right hand because I'm still holding my short sword in the left, and it conjures a shield of faith around me.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Very nice.
Which should give me +2 to AC for 10 minutes.
Great.
Zach would have to keep rolling like he is to hit that.
Yeah.
He is rolling.
So then what I will do is
I love that that's a bonus action.
Yeah.
it's really convenient. And I will just try to climb back up, basically. So I
Alright.
can see if I can just clamber my way up the side of this ship from here.
Sure.
Imagine you're hovering like a conjured shield overhead while you're climbing.
So yeah, why don't you give me another athletics check? This one is just normal, because it's climbing, but you do, of course, move at half speed.
Oh, that's not very good.
So yeah, the wet, right? Water in your armor is just slowing you down as you bring an arm up, like a bunch sloshes out, right? And you just can't get a good grip on the boat. So I'll say basically that spends 20 of your movement as you're attempting to scramble. So you still have 10 movement left if you want to use it. And an action.
I mean, that seems like that should be enough to get exactly to the top, right? If it's supposed to be 10 feet tall.
Well, I'm saying you didn't make any progress.
Gotcha. Okay.
So in order to make it all the way to the top now, you would have to use the dash action to get more movement.
Well, I think that while I'm hanging from the side of this ship, I'm barely out of the water, right? Fighting against the armor and the water and just my own frustration at how this fight's been going. I can see that instead of fighting myself, I need to take a break and use my action just to lay on hands myself and heal up a bit.
Okay.
And I can finish climbing up next turn.
What does it look like laying hands on oneself?
I
mean, it's under the water, so I assume you can't see it.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to wait for another time.
We'll wait for that to be on screen and maybe PG appropriate.
Hal Hawkshaw, right? He comes up. Captain Catapult was too fast. He grabbed Kylem's sword before he was able, and he doesn't really know what to do. There's just this line of enemies. but he's just going to charge straight in for the pirate bosun, who had knocked Kylum off the ship. And he's got his Black Rifter battle axe, sort of a signature weapon for the Black Rift group. Actually, he'll move right in the middle here, and he's going to make use of his Black Rift tactics to go after not the bosun, but this guy that Omarin already took a bite out of. It's like, we can bring him down, because this gives him advantage on his roll. But it's not enough.
Nice.
Second attack.
Oh boy.
That gets through.
Keep rolling. Oh, does it?
Yeah, it does. And he's able, with 2 strikes, the first was batted away, but the second, he just cleaves into this rifter right here. It's like, nice. Give them no quarter! Not for pirates!
Okay, I'm starting to think he's pretty loyal now.
However, right after he says that, you all that can sort of see, notice, yes, these Black Rifters that had been chasing Sweets through the crowd earlier have emerged back on the dock, and you see they see the ship is already moving away, and they're like, oh, we're never gonna catch him. And one of them pulls out a big, giant, like, ram's horn, and he goes...
I say to everyone, I'm like, I forgot to mention...
And
like, oh.
Captain Omarin, as well as Sweets, you hear softly among the din of battle, echoing from farther out to sea, a returning horn call.
Oh. From like a boat?
It sounds from somewhere out.
It's not a submarine.
Past the harbor. Hey, you don't know. Meanwhile, this giant blast horn bellow seems to shake Bungo out of his stupor, and you're able to now climb to your feet again.
Bungo's back in action, baby. I climb to my feet again, surveying the scene of carnage in front of me as my allies do battle with pirates across the deck of the ship. Boy.
Abandoned ship.
You could, you could fight him too, even.
Hey, I already killed one before you even got teleported back from your wizard buddies, pal.
Yes, you do see the crumpled form of this pirate over here who fell to the deck from 40 feet up and died.
Yeah. It was a great shot.
Jeez.
I think it was actually Tasha's hideous laughter that brought her down.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was pretty brutal. Yeah. I basically threw at Tasha's, and then she dangled her way to the ground.
That's like a classic Joker death there.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, you don't mess with bards, all right? It can go sideways.
It's like that famous Batman comic called The Killing Joke.
So let's see.
So it takes half your movement to climb to your feet as you get your sea legs back under you. Captain Catapult, he's like down sort of on these stairs that lead down to sort of the main part of the deck.
Who's this guy in between this pirate and Catapult?
This guy is the pirate bosun. He's very, much burly pirate man. Good at shoving people, wielding a flail.
Much burly.
Yes, much burly.
All right. Interesting. Well, now I guess seems like the perfect time to try out this spell I've been working on. If ever it was going to call for it, I think now is the time to try a bit of experimental magic.
Oh boy.
As Bungo begins weaving his hands together. Although this spell does not have a verbal component, so I don't have to say shit. Just for future reference, I have flavored this spell to Halfling's Mischief.
I created a token. I'll have to rename it. Edit. Halflings. Mischief.
Where did this spell come from?
So I believe
Fizban's Treasury of Dragons stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Well, it's pretty new. All right. So you should be able to control that token. And it's a 20-foot cube.
I cannot control this token.
No.
Also, isn't that a 20-foot?
Yes, I know. The ones I have. Cubes I have aren't
Very astute observation, Austin. Thank you.
I knew somebody was gonna have a comment about that. I just knew.
Now, for purposes of this spell, I do have to choose where I put it before I roll for the effect, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe.
I mean, that would make sense.
So we may all just get a waft of apple pie or what have you.
Wow.
Who knows? And then you'd just be incredibly charmed by me. You'd be like, this Bungo always making battlefields smell like apple pie.
Yeah, I think I'm like, if it's a cube, I don't know if I'd be in that. Maybe I would if it's 20 feet.
Basically, either you or Bungo would have to be in the cube. By the way things are set up.
Well, we're gonna make that Varanus then.
Thanks, man.
That seems like an easy decision to make.
But you get this guy too. This,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, he's dead.
Oh, he's dead. He's dead.
Oh yeah,
So,
never mind.
no. All right.
No,
That way, his
just
last
play it.
memory before he death rattles can be smelling apple pie.
All right.
well,
So
here's
give me a
the- here's the
D4.
roll.
Smells.
A 1. It is the apple pie. So
right.
every creature must make a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by my delicious scents.
Catapult makes a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my gosh, this is great.
Catapult
Goodbye.
gets 14. He saves.
I say, apple pie. I
It's
probably
like,
honestly
men
haven't had
don't-
apple pie before.
Don't fall for this halfling trickery.
Can I say, what does it look like when you cast a spell? Ray? What do
Basically,
I see over your shoulder?
My idea for how I've been developing the spell is I've been sort of watching what Varanus and the actual casters do. So it's like a mockery of like making complicated hand signals, but they're clearly like nonsense. I'm just like doing all sorts of things, and then I'm just like, huzzah! And then you just see this like cinnamon brown sugar wave come out of my hands, start swirling through the air like a Cinnamon Toast Crunch commercial.
Yes,
Going up
yes.
people's nostrils.
Well, and as
Yeah,
I was saying, again, Varanus coming from a place where apple pie probably doesn't exist, unfazed by this at all, as I got a crit.
Right. As was, yes, Captain Catapult manages just barely to avoid the whiff, as well as the normal pirate. But the bosun, the other bosun, is enchanted. He's like, gotta get me some of that pie aboard my ship.
Doesn't that just remind you of, Grandma's cooking back home? What are you doing out here? She'd be so disappointed in you.
Well, Grandma's right around the corner. In fact,
You should go get some of that apple pie.
well, maybe I should. It's getting hot and sweaty up here. I might need a trip in the drink.
And then I will shout over the battlefield, Amarin, no apple pie for you, just man flesh. And I will shoot a bardic die of inspiration at your wolf.
Nice.
And am I engaged with Captain Catapult?
You are not. Yeah. He's...
All right, then I will take this opportunity to just go ahead and pull out, maybe take station by this big catapult here, or
Ballista.
crossbow,
Yes.
or ballista. Yeah.
Yes. Which
For your
is
confusion, though, there's also a catapult, in a manner of speaking.
right.
True.
If you want to spend a story point, that ballista could be loaded.
Well, would I be able to
That's
use
brilliant.
it this turn?
Why not? Well, not this turn because it would take an action. But
All right. Well, maybe I'm not going to spend a story point to load it, but that's good to know for the future, or if someone else wants to use it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my turn.
all right. As Bungo, you creep over near that catapult or the ballista, right? It sort of covers you. You're pretty well. But Sweets, you're out in the open, and this black rifter takes out one of those fancy wood and metal wands that you guys saw him use last time.
Oh yeah, those metal wands.
Wood and metal wands, yes.
I
And
gotta get my hand on one of those.
You know,
You-
guns
you already
back
have
then were
one.
supposed to be very inaccurate.
Well, I gotta get my hands on 2 of them.
Oh, I see. All right, and he takes aim. And takes aim. He's gonna spend a story point because Sweetness led
I was
them
thinking
on a
of
very
doing the same
merry
on it.
chase. Yeah,
We just need a big miss right here.
advantage. Wow.
Oh, he crit. I also use the story point.
I crit.
Well, and his second roll wasn't
Wow.
that bad either.
We just did a big
Yikes.
what?
Who is shooting this?
The Black Rift Sergeant
Gosh.
over here.
This is
all
going.
right.
Hang on.
This is going so.
I could
poorly.
also. You could. I guess
hang on.
I.
He's
Hang on.
within 35 feet of me. But even if I gave him disadvantage, he'd still get a 21. I guess I would,
It would make it not a
That's
crit,
better than a crit.
but you know,
do I trade a spell slot to turn that into not a crit?
Well, I was gonna
Yeah.
say. I mean, could I just use the storing point and and take the 18?
Not after
No,
the fact.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I was actually thinking it. No, I mean, I won't. But I thought I had
Sure.
to wait to see it.
I mean, it's only 12 damage coming in.
And you haven't taken damage
Yeah,
yet, right?
I was gonna say I haven't. No, I'm fine. I'm not gonna do. Yeah.
So
yeah,
the,
I-
the
I'll take
shot
it.
clips you, and you sort of spin around,
I think-
staggered by the power of the weapon.
I think I'm curious. I have.
Yeah.
I'm like.
And you can see him. He starts to fuss with it. He's like pouring this powder from this horn he has back into it. All right, and we get to the top of the round, which means
That
the
is 12
ship.
damage.
Yes, 12 damage. The ship eases a little bit farther away from the dock. Even picking up
Oh, that couldn't have happened.
a little speed. Oh, gotta pull the ballista.
Hey, bring the ballista with us.
All right. So back at the top of the round, there's 2 pirates left. They don't know what's happening with the bosun. Catapult's like, get that mage, and so both of them start coming after you, Varanus.
All right.
There we go. 1, 2. Neither of them can connect through using your driftwood shield and staff to parry away their blows. Captain O'Marin, inspired by Bungo.
He is feeling very inspired. So, Wolf O'Marin is going to run to here, which does not provoke, because I guess, right? Tell me
Yes.
if
No,
perfect.
you're good.
Okay. And then, using his pack tactics, is going to attack this one here.
Very nice. Oh!
Yeah, with the crit. Nice, man.
Excellent. All right. So that is 14 damage, and he needs a strength saving throw. I'm gonna say he automatically. Well, actually, you just kill him. You just tear this pirate apart with that savage blow. Blood spews across the deck as you are not being gentle or pretty with this guy's neck.
And then the wolf is going to nimbly dodge around to here.
Very nice. All right. Catapult, meanwhile, seeing he's got, two foes over here and his mates are falling fast, he's like, "Get out of my way!" And he goes, "Charge! The greatest pirate on the seas!" All right, so he uses a special action, which is taken from the homebrew pirate fighter archetype that no one is playing, unfortunately, but, that's what it is. He easily acrobatics himself, and he moves up to his move speed and ignores difficult terrain. So he moves past his bosun, and slashing at both Hal, Varanus, and the wolf as well. So Hal and Varanus get attacks of opportunity, but they have disadvantage.
Disadvantage? Okay.
Yes.
So let's see here.
And in the meantime, he tosses Kylem's sword to the ground. He didn't like it that much. And especially because his barbed cutlass is going to be very nice against this raw wolf hide. Ooh, 13
Does he
against
hit?
Wolf O'Marin.
Oh, a wolf. I might hit a wolf, I don't know.
I'm pretty
Think it
sure it
muted the
13
does.
is the hit.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Hal gets his attack of opportunity in. It's disadvantage. So you take 9, Wolf O'Marin.
Which is
Yes.
enough to turn me back into a normal Amaran.
Right, and you take 5 more hit points from O'Marin's total. The damage rolls over.
Yeesh.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get O'Marin back on the field. Your inspiration still. All right. So he's like, "Yes, you cannot touch the dreaded pirate, Captain Catapult. I will kill you all for the ship if you do not surrender. Why aren't you surrendering to my awesomeness?" Sweetness, meanwhile.
So
A little bit in the
actually, at the
clear.
end of his turn, because I did that lacerate
Oh,
thing, he's got to
right.
do a Constitution save.
Constitution
so it's a DC
save.
14.
Constitution save, DC 14. There we go. Oh, he passes.
That would have been good.
Yes, I'll put a mark on that. I forgot. All right. So
Yeah,
sweetness.
it keeps going. I think he just saves every for a minute. So the way I'm imagining this is I get shot and I sort of reel backwards and maybe fall into the edge of the ship, and I hear some bubbling over in the water, and I look and I remember, Kylem got tipped over. Do I see anything around me that I could throw?
There's plenty of lines, rope, nets.
Yep, I would like to extend to Kylem and maybe affix, a rope so that he could climb up.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, plenty of the ropes are yeah.
Or affix.
You could do that easily enough, right? Yeah. You can definitely toss him a line.
Is he, Kylem? Are you above water at the moment?
He's treading water.
Yeah, I think it's like treading water, like starting to climb up, sort of getting my act together.
The
Okay,
ship is
I will-
slowly sliding away. You're scrambling at the
Yeah,
same
so
time.
I'll hook a rope to him.
All right.
How do you want to count that? As like, is that a bonus? My bonus?
I'll just say that's
your.
you're using object, so you basically do it for free.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. I toss it to him, and then this guy here. Oh, sorry, I didn't
That's
mean to
okay.
move that. This is the bosun, the one.
Yes, he is currently charmed by the smell of apple pie.
Ooh, could that give an advantage to a roll?
Will
I have to make it save if I enter that area?
Oh. Let's see. No, it's only at the start of Bungo's turns from now on.
Okay.
If you're in that
So the
area.
cinnamon swirl went up their nose, and we're
Yeah.
okay.
Well, if you're in that area at the start of Bungo's next turn, you'd be affected by whatever effect comes into effect.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I maintain the field of cinnamon sugar with
It's
concentration.
not from being charmed. What about from Hal Hackshaw? Do we have any?
No, he doesn't grant any bonuses. He only has, he basically has a version of pack tactics. So he gains advantage. Okay. Yeah. But doesn't grant.
Last question. If he is charmed, can I provoke from him still? Right?
Yes, you still provoke. But yeah, charm basically gives Bungo advantage on charisma checks. And he cannot attack Bungo specifically.
Okay, I'm just gonna take the difficult terrain stuff and hop over this and move past him and get over here with Catapult.
Very nice. All right, so yeah, you hop through over, edge and barrels, crates that have been stacked up recently. Yeah, and you're able to maneuver past on Catapult's backside.
Okay, and that leaves me with a movement of 5, which I will probably take to get at least 1 square from.
Right.
Okay, and then I will. He's still the object of my critical analysis, so I will attack him, and yeah, I think. Why not? I'll use another. Oh, no, never mind. Sorry, I'll use another maneuver.
Story point? Oh, maneuver. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use another. I'm gonna use my exploit weakness. So it lets me deal another 1d6, and it can. But what's unique about this is it cannot be reduced in any way.
I see.
All right, so here's my sword attack. Oh,
Here we go.
Sorry, I need to take the. I clicked on that once, and it's back to normal now. I promise.
All right,
Okay,
all good.
So
yeah, that's a definite hit coming in for Captain Catapult.
You get extra damage.
4.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's 9 plus another d6, right?
Yeah.
11.
Can't reduce that too, though.
Yeah. Well, after another, you come in again. Catapult sort of not expecting you to be the fighter. You're able to sneak past his guard, and as he was facing Omar, and he's like, "You would stab someone in the back, sir? Shame on you! Shame! What kind of pirate are you? What kind of pirate are you?"
I didn't have to use my bonus action. Could I do an offhand attack?
Sure.
Yeah, why not? So that one I just do. That's a straight. That I just don't add the plus
ability modifier.
Modifier.
Right.
Damage.
Do your damage.
So if I just rolled, well, we can. So that's the roll, and it'd only be 1 damage if it hits him.
Yeah. That does hit him.
Okay. 1 damage.
So yeah, you're able to
I'll
just do a little nick, right? He's like, "Ay!"
And then I'll use the last 5 of my movement to Oh, then I'll start. Oh no, I don't think I want to move.
I think you do.
Okay. Back to here, and I'll put my head out of the. I guess being charmed by. Is being charmed that bad?
Well, again, the effect is going to be different, possibly different every round for Bungo's thing.
Oh, I see. Whoa.
Um,
very cool spell.
Yeah, it's random every turn.
All right. Some other piece of halfling mischief might come into play. All right, so your mobile fighting style, you sort of tumble in, do a few quick strikes, and get out. And Catapult is again miffed by how quick you are and able to fight past his guard.
Sherlock Holmesian analysis.
The bosun. So Bungo, you had tried to convince him to go home to Grandma's.
Or I feel like I was getting through to him with his charm, so I was at least trying to convince him to maybe, if it's at least be a little less violent or like question what he's doing here, right? I don't necessarily expect him to like run off, but yeah.
Right.
But if he were gonna run off, he could run to like here. I don't
know. He's gonna try to.
Or if you want, I can make a persuasion check if you want.
Yeah,
to see
why not?
how-
Why not? Yeah,
how effective
as
this
part
is.
of that action you made, with advantage. Good thing.
Okay.
Too. Yeah, because he is charmed.
know. So close
Wow.
to looking like a 20 there.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't seem very convinced, but he does like the idea of continuing to smell this. Like this smelling of the apple pie has invigorated his fighting spirit. So he's gonna stay and just keep mixing it up. Well, he's gonna come around. He's gonna try to grapple Varanus with his flail. Because he sees this wizard is making things difficult for.
I
But,
just kick him in the chest.
Yeah, definitely a miss there. All right. Next, Varanus himself.
So after I kick him in the chest, I look back this way. Oop, for some reason that token covered me up for a minute. And then you see me take like a big inhale and some smoke kind of gathers around my nostrils. And I will let out my fire breath as my bonus action at both Captain Catapult and this other guy here. It's a 15... I think it's... Was it 10, 15 feet?
I think it's 15
I wanna-
feet.
5, 10... Is there a way I could avoid Omarin with that? 5,
Ooh.
10... Or maybe if I were to move to like here or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say if you moved, you'd be able to avoid, but you're also gonna provoke when you move.
This guy, he hasn't used his
the
reaction.
bosun.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll risk it so that I can get this
All
fire
right.
breath on these chumps.
Absolutely. He tries again. Oh, this time it connects. Or maybe. Do you have anything to prevent it?
I do. If I use my reaction to cast shield, I believe I'm at 18 plus 5 would be 23.
He would
I
miss.
think I will do that. Yes, I just like almost instinctively being a new magic user, like get this barrier up just in time.
All right, he's like, I got you now, Wizzy. But his flail just clinks. His flail just clinks off your magical shield. We can put that.
And as I'm holding up the magical shield, and with one hand I look back and, like I said, let out the fire breath. So let me see.
So Catapult and the pirate get a dex save.
Yeah, I have it here. Post.
Pirate fails. Catapult, a little more dexterous. Oh, Catapult.
Okay,
Making the
so I
save. Still
think-
takes 3.
Yeah, I think so. He'll take 3. The other guy takes
Pirate
7.
takes
And that
7.
was
And
my
that
bonus.
puts the pirate down. And he's like, I got you, Captain! Oh! And he just burns up, saving his captain.
And so I think using my action here, who looks worse off, Catapult or his bosun at a glance?
Let's see, what is... probably Catapult looks worse off. He's got that lacerating wound still. He's bleeding. He took a nip from Omarin at one point.
But I think has been demonstrated. He's very dexterous.
He is for sure.
So I think we may not risk using this spell on him. But I instead will actually do this to the bosun. I imagine I look down and I see like like a hook or a metal hook attached to some rigging or something, just sort of in the fray of the commotion of battle, and I whirl my staff around through the air and it animates the hook and just like shoots
That's
forward to like
nice.
hit the guy in the head.
All right, he makes a dex save.
Yeah. All right, he'll fail.
He fails.
I think.
3d8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3d8 bludgeoning damage. All
Oof.
right, 16.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wow, that visually in my mind was so cool. Like,
Yeah, and you hook him. He just and he goes down as the hook bites through his flesh.
All right. And after all that, I then turn my golden eyes in a glare at Catapult and I say, "Why aren't you surrendering?"
Because I am still the greatest swordsman that ever lived. Don't you see?
gotta hand it to this guy.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? His delusion is impressive, I will say.
Meanwhile, Kylum still in the water with this rope to help you, so you will have advantage on any checks to climb up.
Sure, I'll take advantage of that then and climb up. That's athletics.
Yes. All right, this time you're able, yes, to pull yourself up the rope so that it spends 20 feet of your movement to get back aboard the top deck.
Yeah. So the way I'm reading this is it looks like Captain Catapult is the only standing person on the ship. Other than that, we've just got the Black Rifters over on the west side.
I'm also standing.
Yeah.
My character is on.
That's true. I could stab you.
No.
Okay. I kind of wish he would just surrender. It does feel kind of goofy to like.
I mean, I feel like we got it, right?
Dude, persuade
Away from
him.
the-
I don't know.
Yeah,
We're
if you
away
want
from
to.
the dock. We've got him surrounded. I mean,
He's
We're
fine.
pirates.
What?
What do you
No
do, Kyle?
quarter for pirates.
A no
That's what
quarter
Hal
for
shouted.
pirates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true. Pirates are pretty bad. You shouldn't be a pirate, kids. So I will. I can't reach over there with just on move speed because I only would have 20 move speeds. All right, because that's 10. Oh no, I could, I guess, barely. Because that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, no, because I already used 20, right? Okay,
Right.
never mind. Yeah. So instead, what I will do is I will use my phase step ability to zip over there.
hell yeah.
So I suddenly pop in right in front of Sweetness.
Who falls overboard?
By the way, what is the season that we are at in the world of
This
campaign
is
right now?
late spring.
Late spring. All right.
Yeah.
No application then. We'll revisit that topic probably at some
All
point. So I pop in, and what kind of action would be to grab my rapier off the ground, right? Because it's right on the ground in front of me now.
It's just to use an object action, so it's free.
Okay.
He's like, no!
Been immediately like grab my rapier off the ground and come upward to try to catch Catapult off guard. Hopefully taking advantage of it. He didn't expect me to just suddenly come at him from the other side.
All right.
Let's see how that goes.
Let's see it.
As of course going to be a that's
That
pretty
is
good.
a hit.
Nice. Nice.
And I will make that a smite as well.
Ooh, she's
We're
gonna
gonna-
Oh,
go
wow.
for the smite.
He's done.
He's done. He looked worse than the other guy.
Story point.
Oh,
That's 15 damage.
but it's not quite enough.
Well,
So he
I'm
looked
gonna-
worse, but that was percentage-wise, we might say.
Alright.
You already
I guess
used your
it was
bonus
a little
action.
Oh, that's right. You used it. Never mind.
Yeah. So
More
Captain
normal.
Catapult, he takes that hit. He is looking, very cut up. His fur is matted with sweat and now briny water from your ancestral rapier. He's got his lacerating wound that's bleeding, which actually he went again and didn't save for. I think.
Oh.
Please
right?
die from bleeding out.
Give it up,
Bleed.
Captain.
You're gutted.
No, he
passed.
ties it. Or passes.
Damn it.
Sorry.
All right.
Yeah, I should have said story point. Give him disadvantage.
Hal is like, well, I said no quarter for pirates, but that's your call, Captain. Omarin.
No quarter for pirates.
No quarter! And Hal just charges in, swinging his battle axe with pack tactics.
Catapult.
Oh, first one
Is that
misses.
Ooh.
Second one, gets them on the second. Coming in, and he slices across Captain Catapult's chest, and the cat goes, I never saw that one coming, and he tumbles backward over the railing and into the sea, and he splashes, and you see this foam of blood and bubbles coming up as he sinks beneath the turbulence left by the passing boat. Well, Bungo, there's no one left, no pirates left aboard. What do you guys do? You're still pulling away from shore here. Black Rifters on the docks.
Let's get out of here.
Do you want to give an order to get the ship more fully underway? That might be a
I
captain
will.
only thing. But...
Yes, I am going to say, crew, make the ship ready. Come about. Cast off from the docks. I will make sure our friend Captain Hal, you have the helm. I will make sure our friend Captain Catapult is truly dead.
Yeah.
Okay! Sounds good, Captain. So Hal Hawkshaw runs over to the helm. Bungo, do you cease your concentration?
Yeah, I will let the spell drop.
What happened to that yummy smell?
Perhaps sometimes I will teach you the secrets of my halfling magics.
So as you guys slide out, right? You guys have all been on a ship and worked together as a crew before. So as the ship is sliding out of the berth, making out into the wider open harbor, from a couple thousand feet away, you do see a smaller vessel on the outskirts, right, of the harbor and bay of Greyhaven. And Omarin, particularly with your sharp elven captain eyes, you notice that those are the sails of Black Rift you see on that ship.
Are there any ships around? Like, is there anybody else even remotely close to us?
So as you're now making way out into the harbor, we can switch to this screen, I suppose. Um,
Hang on,
yes.
Jack. If it wasn't clear, after I gave that order,
Yeah.
Amarn is gonna dive into the ocean, just dive off of the ship and look for Captain Catapult and see if he's making a slippery escape.
I see. Well, why don't you make
There went the
me?
captain.
There went the cat.
Why don't you make me a perception check?
I can do that. Right.
But it will. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me just try to. There we go. It's not great.
Unfortunately, with the churned up waters, as the boat is now picking up speed, the blood from multiple people being, thrown, tossed overboard, and the general murkiness around Greyhaven, due to the old sewer systems and everything. Unfortunately, you're not able to pick up his trail.
So Amarn will just climb back on shore, dripping wet, sort of water flicking off in the breeze off of his gray hair and beard, and say, you may have gotten away. Those pirates, they don't look good.
No, they do
How
not.
far off are they? Can we,
They are... Yes, so we can... Let's see. So basically, right now they're still well over 1,000 feet away, and there are other boats going in and out of the harbor. It's not the busiest time of day, and however, most of them have been giving your ship a wide berth because of the alarm bells going up. They saw, there's action on board, right? People don't know what's going on, so they're just kind of staying away. So, yeah.
So I would like to, presumably there's a flag that we can raise for assistance, and a flag that we can raise for pirates. There's some semaphore type thing that we can raise to let everybody in the harbor know that pirates are coming.
Sure. Yeah. Hal Hackshaw points out where those flags are. You might need. They're below decks. They got stored. Because she was at berth for a while. So someone's gonna have to, unless someone wants to take the wheel from Hal, gonna have to do that. So, how about where's everyone go as the ship is getting underway and everything like this? What positions do you take around the ship? Things like that.
Well, I can say.
start.
You go ahead, Blake.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I was looking through. You're fixing a candle. Well, good luck, dude. I am going to be doing the ship's mage's actions to add wind to the sails using my gust cantrip and the magical conjurations it mentions here in the crew action.
Yeah.
So I probably just want to be under, maybe kind of like where I am near the middle, where I can see all the sails on the mast and just kind of direct the wind to help us push out of here as need be.
Yeah. So, due to the currently limited number of crew, right, the ship can only take a certain number of actions per round. So you've currently reached the action limit of the ship for at least this initial bit of casting off and then bolstering. But you are picking up speed more rapidly. So, in case anyone's interested, we have a character sheet for the ship. And as the crew becomes more familiar with her, they're going to take different duties based on their roles. And of course we could see the roles we have. Captain O'Marin, First Mate Kylum, Bosun is Bungo, the ship's mage is Varanus, and the surgeon, of course, is Sweets. All right. So you guys are pushing off into the harbor, and Bungo, the call of there's a cry of gulls start calling out, like lots of gulls cawing together, and you suddenly see a flock of seagulls with ropes suspended from them, carrying a large tarp with what seems to be your gear from your previous ship, including all of Sweetness's accoutrement for his surgery stuff. And so you see these seagulls are like flapping in, right? Some of them are struggling under the weight, but there's like dozens of them, all strung together. And
Wow.
as they near it, the ropes sort of break free, and the stuff falls to the deck with a thud, a little harder than you would have liked, but
Yeah.
pretty.
Sweetness cringes. Like,
Yeah. Still pretty safe. And you see a note that has been affixed to the cargo webbing that's holding your gear.
Well, I will snatch it up.
And it reads, "Dearest Bungo, this, I believe, belongs to you and your crew. And here is another little item to, well, keep in touch. You almost convinced me taking the voyage would be a great honor and adventure, but alas, my old heart, I don't think was fully in it, no matter how much my mind wanted me to be.
Oh,
And-
racist heart.
But we can keep in touch from now on. Send me updates of your adventures." And so as you unwrap this note, you find a little magical stone that tingles in your hands, which you recognize as a sending stone.
Cool.
Yeah. So, yes. So apparently, all your gear has been sent over by Sendrail, and just looking back towards the docks, you could see from the tops of one of the buildings bedraggled figure with a big wispy beard, sort of waving off at you in the distance.
Give my way.
Bye.
All right. Well,
And I'll go ahead and pocket that sending stone.
sure. You notice, yeah, all the gear you had recovered from Ramius's ship is still there. Now, I need Hal to make a sailing check with his vehicle's water, unless anyone does want to take the helm.
Alright.
Is he mechanically pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, he's all right. He's not super.
Sorry, what kind of check would we make if we were to?
This would be a vehicle's water check, or a navigation or check with navigator's tools to plot the best sort of ideal course for avoiding the Black Rift ship.
It's
I
good
think
to
he's probably best equipped for that for now.
I'm proficient in both of those, but I'm gonna focus on something else. But that's good to know.
All right. He does all right. So he's like, I gotta keep the wind, Captain. I can't go too far to port, or else we'll start to luff. For those of you who don't know sailing terms, that's when the sails are no longer full of wind and yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Don't
Uh,
want to start luffing.
all right. So, yeah. So what are the rest of you around deck? What are you guys doing as the ship is making its way out of port? Aside from Varanus,
Is there a
he's-
way I can like patch myself up? My biggest concern is the fact that I'm pretty beat up. If I could like
Thank-
do a
Alright.
rapidly take like a short rest kind of equivalent or anything like that, that'd be cool.
Well, I don't know if you have any healing potions, perhaps, or sweetnesses could start applying his medical expertise.
Yeah, I say I could probably help. I also have some medicine or healing potions. Oh, I
Yeah.
saw them
Good berries.
because I made them.
Yeah, if you guys have anything like that, that would be helpful.
Okay. Yeah, we don't. I take it have time for a short.
Not a short rest, no.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing that I do is start removing these fucking hooks from our ship that they so rudely attached. I imagine they're still like dangling on as we made our escape.
No, there was no hooks on the ship. The ship had been
I thought
moored. No, the ship had been moored
cut
to the
our
dock.
ropes.
Right. They cut your lines.
Right. Well, in that case, I start going about the business of repairing our fucking rope lines because those fucking jerks cut our ropes. A bosun's work is never done.
Mark, those are for you.
Kylam, I'll give you a health potion. A medicine. It's medicine. It's science.
All right, so 2d4 plus 2 from the medicine.
Would you like to roll for yourself?
Yeah, I'll roll because I'm drinking it. That's 7.
Yep.
Nice.
And then there's some good berries from Omarin. So actually, one berry, each berry you eat restores 1 HP. But there's 10 of them. Alright, 10 HP.
Is anyone going below decks, either to fetch one of those flags that the captain or Hal had pointed out?
What were the flags?
Marin, you can explain them.
Amarin, what are you talking
So-
about? Flags?
So there's flags, and I describe what they look like. There's the flag for aid, which I think is like a circle with a line through it or something.
Oh, sure.
And there's the pirate flag, the Jolly Roger. And I say, hoist them up the yards, and let the harbor know that there are pirates incoming. Arr.
Wait, is the Jolly Roger a warning that
think-
there are pirates?
Yeah, I was saying, won't they think we're the pirates?
Not with the warning thing, right? Like you
Put 'em
fly
together.
that
Oh.
just
Gotcha.
nature of the
It's
warning.
like it's a compound signal.
Yeah.
right.
All right, so who's going below deck to get those?
Or maybe it's not a Jolly
I
Roger.
mean, maybe I could do that real quick while you guys are, because I think that might be a really fast action I could do in
Sure.
addition to my like healing potion stuff.
Yeah. All right. So Kylam, you rush down below deck and you see, the 5 mates that had come on before with supplies. 2 of them are completely dead, but 3 of them are still grievously wounded and sort of bleeding out.
Sweetness, we need you down here.
I think Sweetness has been sort of interestingly like fidgeting with the musket ball in his shoulder. And it was like, so I'll sort of hobble my way down. I'll quickly drink my other health potion. I'm going to call it medicine because Sweetness would.
Sure. Sweetness
so that's
takes
what
his
it
medicine.
is. Sweetness takes his medicine and gains 121 hit points. No, 21. Okay, yeah, I will go downstairs and begin to minister to the
All right.
these sailors.
Why don't you make me a medicine check? Because there's several of them, basically, if you take disadvantage on the check, I'd allow you to treat all 3 of them to stabilize them rather than one by one.
So because of the healer feat, I get advantage. So could I just do a straight roll?
A straight roll.
Okay, normal. Let's see. Oh, not great.
That's enough. It's enough.
Okay.
All right, so you're able to stabilize these three from bleeding out.
Sutures.
Yeah, you quickly make your one for these guys were definitely surprised attacked right by Catapult and his pirates as they've been impersonating other deckhands. Kylum, you grab the flags, rush up back to the top deck, start raising them, under Omarin's orders. Meanwhile, Hal needs to make another check to steer the ship. Bungo, I could use a little boost. This ship could use all the speed we could give her. I need the line. Give me the line, Bungo.
Give you the line?
Inspiration. Bardic
Oh.
inspiration.
Well, hang on. I think I have a special sea chanty for just such an occasion. Would this be an occasion where I would target the ship with my bardic inspiration feature? It may be used on any roll to pilot or sail the
Sure,
ship.
absolutely. And your bardic
okey-doke.
inspirations, a D6.
Yes, D6.
All right.
So I'd break out into a sea chanty in response to his call.
All right. Well, good thing because the wind suddenly changed and Varanus is trying to control it, but it's
Oh, look at that +6 from the
yeah.
inspiration. I love it.
Exactly. Your chanty. What does Bungo sound like when he's doing his chanties?
Oh God. I have no idea. I don't know any. I need to write an actual rhyme.
Soon may the weathermen come, bring us sugar and tea.
How Hawkshaw drive that ship? Make it go fast, make it go fast. How Hawkshaw get us there,
quick.
and we won't get killed by pirates.
Yes, it's a good rhythm. Hal's tapping his foot as he's at the wheel, chucking along. Let's see how.
Oh my God.
There we go. No, that's
Great.
good. That is
that's good.
the
Okay.
Black Rifters hit that same
Oh, perfect.
detrimental wind, and suddenly their sails just they just go completely flat.
Oh, love.
And you guys sort of start speeding past them, still several hundred feet in between you. They're to your starboard side, but you hear a dreadful sound to hear upon the water. As a mangonel looses and fires at the ship. A mangonel is a sort of small type catapult, right? Sort of not a trebuchet.
Age of Empires. I know what a mangonel is.
Well, I'm just making it for people at home, other people at home. But the shot splashes into the water beside the ship. It rocks a little bit under the heavy wave, but you're able to cruise forward out of the harbor, leaving them behind. Probably not. They're not going to be able to turn themselves quickly enough to follow on your wind. And so the cerulean wind slips out of Grey Haven's harbor and onto the Great Sea.
Made it to open seas, boys.
And why don't we take a 5-minute break
Cool.
and reconvene?
Yeah, great.
All right.
Sounds good.
And we are back on the Great Sea with our crew that have just steamed their way out of Greyhaven's harbor.
We made it out of that encounter.
Right,
Hey,
the sound of the
Hey,
wind and the
oh, how far
sea,
did we
right,
make it?
is much. The sound of the wind and the sea is much more invigorating than the bustle of the harbor and you know the smells of the old sewers, and the blood of pirates, which is still on the deck in several places.
Yeah, so as much as I'd love to enjoy the open sea, we do have a few things. First, we just took off, and we should probably be taking inventory, just making sure that we do have everything that we need. And if there's something we need to stock up on, that we know what it is and we get prepared for it. And then the other thing is that we did have those injured crewmates from the beginning of the encounter with Captain Catapult. We need to keep an eye on them, right? Whatever we could do for them.
Yes, well,
Mark, I'll just head down and give them some more berries.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, but I think Sweetness could be in charge of the, like,
You can
care of the crewmates.
give them good berries. That's fine.
Yeah, Hal also pipes up. He's like, I can check out the stores to make sure we are well supplied. It seemed to me when they, at least on my ledger, when they were bringing unloading things, we definitely have enough for a month-long voyage, if not more.
While he's doing that, so I'd like to take the. Could I take the crew members to I don't know, a space where I could lay them all out and sort of start to get out my equipment and begin to minister. Did you say, are you going to give them good berries? Or do you come down and, all right, I'll how many do you have?
Sweetness and you can
Okay. Wait, hold on. Say that one more time. I think I missed it.
I'll just give you the good berries. I'll just make 10.
Okay, I'll bring them down and I'll miss. I will. Sweetness pockets one for some scientific study.
All right. So Sweetness down there attending to the wounded. Hal, right, going below decks, taking inventory in his role as quartermaster.
There's like one guy down below who's like, I didn't get a berry. Ugh.
Yeah. That's all he gave me. In the name of science. Sweetness is also, I think, curious about his wound. Has he seen sort of gunshot wounds and stuff before?
No.
Any of his... So I think he would really almost like to investigate what's. And again, I think this is with an eye down the road toward perhaps being more prepared and better. Like, all right, these might be a kind of wound that I should learn about.
For sure.
And I think he would like to, and even if it takes him longer to heal, I'm willing to take that disadvantage to sort of make a scientific study of my wound and the kind of damage that's been done. I think I see him with, like, you come down at points and it's kind of like, oh my god. And so, like, he's got his skin sort of, he's got a mirror, and he's tinkering around in there.
If
there's time for that, that would be something I think he would want to do.
Yeah, well, I'd say at the moment, right, all of your patients are currently sort of just resting, right, very much to recover. So, yeah, Sweetness has time to investigate this wound, right, pick out the little, bits of cloth, right, and ichor that's collecting around it.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume you eventually extract the ball as well. So yeah, when you
swing my magnifying glass around.
Yeah. So as you're examining it, yeah, it seems like a metal ball of some sort, not dissimilar to what you'd find with a slingshot, right? the bullets used in a sling. Except you can tell, right? There's some sort of residual like char on this ball, which might take further investigation to unearth there.
Yeah, and I'm saying this is, like he'll take the good berry and the ball, and like when we feel like we're safely out to sea, this would be a way he might use his downtime.
Yeah.
Is to do some alchemical studies on the good berry and looking at the gunpowder and stuff like that.
Sure. Cool. Anybody else have things they're interested in?
I would just like to clarify that my good berries are actually not berries. They're like little balls of fish eggs. They're like fish roe.
Regardless, he's curious.
Maybe fish eggs. They're salty. They're definitely a little salty.
Yeah.
They go great on crackers. I'm wondering, you toast a little bread with good berries. Excellent combination.
Does it feel like, Zach, that how are we doing in terms of the ship now traveling, and does it seem like I could be of use here steering the winds around a bit, or have we settled into a nice sail, or?
Yeah, you've basically, due to your lead and smooth sailing and your help with the wind, you think you've left the pursuit behind you. Yeah, and obviously you guys can take a short rest if you want at this point.
Okay, yeah, I'll certainly do that. I think during my short rest, I just compose myself and maybe just chat up a bit of the crew. I feel like we haven't had a chance to, properly have a chat where we weren't anxiously fleeing or fighting. So maybe just kind of linger around and try to find the ear of some of the party and my crewmates here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll go ahead and do my short rest stuff.
Do we have time for a short rest?
Yeah, you have time for a short rest, basically.
So I can use my arcane recovery, so I basically get a spell slot back.
And we can do a hit die, right? I'll use a hit
You can use as many hit dice as you want. Yeah.
Do that. Breath weapon back. Cool.
Alright. That brings me up to 4. Okay. I do kind of want to, maybe just say this out loud. I've written it down so that I remember. But in terms of investigating the good berry, I think Sweetness is a deep down. He's a materialist, and I think he really believes that fundamentally magic is a sort of physical scientific. It's a law-governed principle of the universe, and that he could understand it mechanically and materialistically. And that's where I think what's driving some of his. So whether it's a berry or row or something, he's wanting to be what molecule does it contain, that enables it to.
Right. What are its healing virtues?
Yes. How does it do
material?
that so that I could mimic that same thing, even though he doesn't have a magical bone in his body.
Sure.
Because bones aren't magical.
What is a dragon bone?
Right. Bungo's got a dragon bone. I mean, that might be a little.
Technically, I've got a lot of dragon.
You have a lot of dragon bones. I think I may be very curious. I'm subjecting the crew, especially.
I must be very valuable.
I mandate, weekly physicals on board. So I'll be ready for that. That is true. Sweetness actually does that. He wants to make sure everyone's in peak health. He'll be making multivitamins. That'll be one of his, to keep you all.
Wow, what have we signed up for here?
A very healthy voyage.
Yeah, so Hal comes back up to the deck with his little clipboard, and he says, "Oh, where's the captain?" Well, we'll do that when he arrives. Fairness, I want to thank you yet again for your timely intervention, as well as your vote for securing me aboard this crew. You were the sort of deciding vote here, since Kylum abstained. And I just want to voice my appreciation for that.
But he says that to who?
You.
Oh, yeah. I say, yes, well, it was clear in that last scrap where your true loyalties lie. Good to have you on board. And I probably, I don't know, maybe I'm messing around, sitting on a crate, messing with my, wood carver's tools or something. And then after a beat, I, look at him and I'm like, it's very important to me that this voyage stay a successful one this time.
Yes. This time is always a good. The maiden voyage, always a good voyage for a ship, except, big cruise liners sometimes.
Right. Or if you turn an eye to everything that happened so far.
Well, I mean, we're barely off, right? That was still in the harbor. That doesn't count.
Right.
You gotta be on the open sea. And he takes this big lungful of salt air, and he's taps his peg leg on the deck. Yes, the wind is a stern ship. So Captain, I see you are having yourself some rations, but our stores are as follows. We have two full cargo tons of food, and so that should last us 2 months with our current crew complement. Same thing for our fresh water stores, and we also have one store of medical supplies and one store of general general. Well, I've got it all on the ship sheet.
I just want that way I can also, I think, keep track of it.
Sure. So yes, we are ready for a long voyage. Do we have a course that we should set?
We do.
Yeah, I think so.
We have a course set from our good friend who was fortunately unable to join us. But yes, we have our crediting. It is something island.
Of course.
So set sail for that island.
Island.
Something island.
From that island.
Certainly somewhere in my notes.
The Islands of the Sun, correct?
Was it the Blazing Isles?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
The Blazing Isles.
The Isles from the Sun is where I'm from.
The Blazing Isles.
Yes, this should be about a week's sail to the Blazing Isles, so we will
Do
have.
we have enough for that?
Yes, we have 2 months basically at the current crew complement.
Which isn't much.
Of stores. Well,
What would this ship ideally require, crew number wise?
well, we could do with up to 11 more crew members.
11 undead crew members.
I guess.
No,
Really
no, undead are terrible. You don't want undead on a crew.
Not ideal.
What?
Very bad luck, guys.
I'm assuming they'd be under Sweetness's control.
No, I
He's
can't
just
do
inviting a
more
bunch of
of that.
zombies.
Wait.
You see
Am I
Sweetness
sailing with
sort of look over
necromancers?
with
Is that-
awareness, and he's like,
Not to my knowledge.
Sweetness just likes to hypothesize a lot.
okay.
Okay.
I was just
Oh.
saying, and he picks up one of the limp bodies of the soldiers this one, and he's like, yeah, I can help.
One should not deal so disrespectfully with the dead, be they pirates or
He
not.
just sort of drops his limp body, you know.
Oh,
Oh my
just bad luck. Bad luck.
Should we give them a proper burial into J.B. Jones's locker?
Sweetness is like, they don't care, and he just sort of lobs one over the.
Well,
Yes, we will. We'll hold a ceremony at sea for the departed sailor. Just
Well, you
Bungo
gotta-
can sing some words.
You gotta tie
Flutes.
rocks to them before you throw them over, so they sink. Otherwise, they stay on the surface and they get eaten by seagulls, which is a very undignified.
Good for the seagulls.
also
sure.
could leave a trail if someone were following us.
That too. You don't want to be leaving a trail of bodies on the ocean.
Oh, we just dumped them all at once.
Plus, you're going to attract a lot of sharks.
No
that
trail.
way.
Yeah.
We'll get
or
some
worse.
stones from the ballast and some
no.
old sailcloth, and we'll
Stones
make some
things.
shrouds and sew them up and do it properly.
Well,
Captain's orders.
Not to
Here
the
we
one
go.
Sweetness already threw.
Yeah.
We'll
no
let
more-
know
no more
that one.
sweetness.
Did you say sew them up?
Well, into bags like canvas.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Sweetness is very adept with needles. So, the captain's orders. You know, I think Sweetness does defer to the captain, so he'll do it. And then he'll brook no argument.
Bungo, you start hearing a familiar voice in your mind. Ask Varanus if he talked with the academy about Sherrock.
Varanus.
Yes.
Well, I
When you
misused
were
brook there.
at the wizard tower doing your wizard things, did you have time to ask them about Sharrock?
I did, as a matter of fact.
Oh, and what did they say?
Remind me, Zach. Basically, I think we struck an agreement, did we not?
Yes. Hold on. My Discord has gone a little wibbly in the voice.
There's a guy who worked there, I think. But when I mentioned him last time to the wizard, he was like, Sharrock's been dead for 100 years or something.
Yeah, I sorted it out.
Okay.
He... Oh, that the half-orc had left his position. Transparency, and so you all know, the Alabaster Academy is a bit cautious, perhaps too cautious, about magic users and regulating what they do and what spells they deem necessary. And I was able to leave cordially with them, but I'm not so sure about how restrictive they are out on the open seas. Who are they to tell anyone what sort of magic is useful or not? And then I think I kind of like, you know, seeing the ghost of Magnus.
Or
Magnus, yeah. in Bungo, I feel there's a lot of ideas swirling around in this neophyte mage's mind, and he thank you, and he decides to try and have a longer conversation with Magnus in particular, where he's asking him level of attention and detail to studying these physical things like Captain Amar's magical row or bullet bearings or what have you. He's trying to get a lot of information out of about him being a ghost and being undead.
All right. So, sorry. Yes, my audio was freaking out a little bit. So yes, Varanus, you were able to pay the donation to the Alabaster Academy in the sum of 20
Yes.
gold pieces for them to open up their ledgers. And yes, Sherrock had been a lowly scribe, and in fact that was his title, right? Lowly scribe is one of the levels of scribe among the Alabaster Academy.
Wow.
Yeah. And yes, he had planned a voyage to none other than the Blazing Isles. But that was some decades ago, in fact, almost a little over 30 years. He left his position, and no one had ever heard of him since.
All right.
So Magnus takes that news a little, sadly. He's like, damn, it was my key contact for finding Scarlet Kate's treasure. I learned some things from his research. That is unfortunate.
So he believes that to make sure I summarize it properly for my notes here.
Sure.
Basically, that the last known whereabouts to Scarlet Kate's treasure, at least some of it, is in the Blazing Isles.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't know
that's
where.
Where Sherrock was heading to follow up a lead on. Yeah.
Okay. Hey Blake, I think is that you? I'm getting like a loud tapping sound in my ears. Is that from your end or?
We reason think it's from your end because we can tell when your like screen lights up when you make noise. So it's
Oh, I wasn't looking at that at the moment. Maybe it was, but
Yeah, no, it's your typing, Blake.
It might be me just typing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
Tipping
Yeah, sorry.
tapping.
I'm updating my document version of my character sheet
Yes, okay.
and adding to my notes.
No, you're good. I want to make a note of that as well, but
Sure.
I'll do that in a second. Okay, cool. So obviously, yeah, I relay that to Bungo and Magnus, and freely to everyone.
Oh, very good. We're on the trail, Bungo. We're on the trail. Keep that compass handy.
Of course, of course.
So, Varanus, you'd been asking Bungo to ask Magnus about his experience as a ghost?
Yes, I, basically ask him like, you have done such a rare thing, at least insofar that I've ever seen. If this is possible, as you've demonstrated it is, I want to know how. I want to understand it. There are a good many of my kind that I wish I could speak with one last time.
Oh, oh boy, Varanus, it's not a fate I would wish on many. It is, well, it is agonizing, you might say at times, just existing almost as nothing.
Well, you don't understand. My kin are part of a group called the Erosiac. They are not like your average creature of purpose. We trained and were prepared our entire lives for the great voyage that we went on. There is no valuing of the individual self that is greater than that purpose we all shared.
Wow. Sounds pretty terrible that you couldn't go out and get your own fame and glory. I wouldn't wish that. I don't think Bungo would wish it either. Of course, because, Magnus has to relay everything he's saying directly through Bungo. Bungo would have to be Magnus's mouthpiece
Right.
in these instances.
Yeah, I feel like it's funny in between. Maybe there's like little flickers where I'm having a side conversation with Bungo,
Yeah.
but to the same person, just being like, "Yes, I'll get back to that, Bungo, Magnus." Like,
I did not choose this fate for myself, nor was I at all proficient in magics. I only know that when I died from that dastardly poison trap in the temple, I never left until you all came along and liberated me.
there had to have been something that brought you back.
Back? Well, I don't know if I ever left. As to why I was different, who could say? Well, I was just an adventurer, just on a voyage of great triumph, purpose, and glory that was cut short too soon. Too soon.
I know something about that. I hope we find this treasure for you. And I think I go and I imagine Zach, maybe this would have been something fun to. I'm just now having this idea. What if I was in the Alabaster Academy? I sort of tried to pluck some, basically pilfer some, scroll or something. I imagine I have something on me that I is a bit in the forbidden necromancy type of magic,
Mm-hmm.
and so I just go about like thinking about all that he said and examining some magical tomes.
Sure. Yeah, you also, as you had been departing, you had also been given a note by the Archmage who brought you in for your debriefing, telling, after you had sort of refused, right, to become a full-on member and stay at the academy to train, right, the Archmage had told you, well, if you're gonna go on this voyage, you're gonna have to abide by the academy's rules, which foremost of which is no necromancy. It was a thing that basically almost brought down the whole Greenwold several decades ago, with this rise up of this old empire that was led by this undead, mage. Very, very, bad PR for the academy at that point, and so they've come down even more strictly on that sort of thing. But yes, you were passed, and now I've collected this all together in a single handout. the Fallen Star info that you've gotten from a couple of the different factions. So you started with info from Corvisa, and she's a member of the Merchant Princes, where she talked about, well, Lux the Red, right, dragon of the Golden Archipelago, might be a good ally if handled correctly. The Holy Concordance, right, Kylum had made a contact with them, and he sort of told Kylum that the upper echelon of the Concordance was very concerned about the star because they could feel and divine that extra planar forces were going to start coming into play here, right? And divination speak of a powerful astral force that comes before the wish of the star. And lastly, at the Alabaster Academy, you had been sent off, Veronis, with this piece of information that the Astral Compass is a strange and powerful artifact. The secret of its creation has been lost to history, but it is rumored that the ancients of an age long past were responsible for its construction. And the oldest texts record an even lesser known secret that 2 astral compasses were made, one left in this world and one sent deep into the astral plane.
Oh shit.
Ah. I see.
So, yes, that is the information you were sort of sent away with from the academy, in addition to Sherrock's last known destination.
This is certainly information that I'll relay to everyone during sort of our downtime, while we're sitting around eating and just, having R&R. Blake, I think you're muted. I see you talking, but...
It wasn't that funny.
Okay.
None of your jokes are, Sweetness, but we all love you, says Hal.
Yeah, Sweetness is just like mumbles something mutedly. Out of character, real quick. Chad used the lovely word neophyte, and I misused a word, and because it was recorded, I just want to correct. Brook no argument. I checked means tolerate no argument. What I meant was I will make no argument with the captain.
I love that you're correcting yourself from like an hour ago.
I'm an English teacher. we're one of my students.
It must be concise.
Yeah, I want to use it correctly. I don't want my students pointing out.
Good point.
Gotcha. They're all on Twitch these days.
Yeah.
Right.
So as the ship continues to sail along the Great Sea, let's just talk about what are your different roles on the ship. What do you take care of in terms of ship's duties, things like that. So starting with Captain O'Marin, of course.
Captain O'Marin is going to just make sure that everything that the crew and every member of the crew are doing what they're supposed to do. It's as simple as that. If anybody's lagging behind or not doing what they're doing, O'Marin is on top of it. He is also, as a little side gig, he's got something dragging in the water behind the ship and seeing if he can catch some fresh foodstuffs, as it were.
For sure. What's that something that he's dragging?
It's a very, very sort of thin line. It almost looks like spider silk, with some magic bits at the end.
Ah, I see. Well, we'll see what that can do over time to augment the ship's stores. First mate Kylum, what do you generally get up to?
So I'd probably mostly like tagging along with O'Marin as he's trying to like check in on the rest of the crew and make sure they do a good job. I don't know that much about running a ship. I've been, on ships for the last year or so, but it's still picking up a lot. And I think, Mike, from the description you gave there of what O'Marin was up to, maybe I'm getting you to expand a little bit more on what people should be doing and being like, okay, he's not doing the right thing. Like, what should he be doing? And kind of jumping in and lending a hand on all of these different things as necessary, trying to kind of learn what it takes to do this. Because I think you know how to run a ship. But Omarin, I think, is a little reserved, I want to say, is the polite version of it sometimes. Um, not always prone to being clear and also with his instructions, so I'm trying to, dig it out of him.
Sure, sure.
It's very clear that Omarin thinks everybody else on the ship is a horrible nuisance. Like,
Yeah.
he's not even trying to hide that.
So I'm a little bit more like, well,
Wow.
okay, so the deck, something's not right with the sails, right? Like, how
This is
should it
very
look? Well, like how should it be set up? Why don't you explain it for us, Omarin? Oh, okay, like this, right? And I'm generally competent enough that I'm trying to like pick things up and learn as I go and become more sort of educate myself on how this ship should be run.
Excellent. Bungo as bosun. What do you get up to?
Maintenance, I guess. I don't know. Making just whatever routine stuff you do on a ship. I make sure the ropes are, roping, and the sails are in one piece, not fraying. That kind of thing. And then, at night, I basically, I think I sort of make a routine of like, each night on the ship, I like tell a specific story or like a part of a story, just to keep the crew like entertained,
Sure. Excellent. All right, Varanus, ship's mage.
All right. So I imagine, initially, it's almost like you see him being a bit reclusive. Clearly, he's been sort of anybody who has talked to him over the. How long is this period we're kind of narratively
This is
covering
just
here?
the first, the first little bit. We're not going to full downtime yet, or anything like that. But
All right. So I imagine this would be something by like the night or something. Maybe he's unlocked a critical piece of this puzzle he's been studying about afterlife and spirits and summoning ghosts, and maybe like I imagine him sort of like storming up maybe from being below deck for a while, having not chatted with people much or messed with any of the ship duties much, and he uh has like a sort of like uncharacteristic excitement about him, and basically rushes up to the middle of the ship and starts casting these like incantations, referencing, like I said, maybe some old pilfered necromantic looking scroll or what have you. And what I'd like to do, Zach, if I could, is basically for the first time summon my phantom crew on board.
yes, you sure can. So
Wait.
yeah, let's. You should be able to have control.
What do you do? A little
Yeah. What is it? What is it? What is the ritual to
ring a
do
little
this?
dinner bell or something.
I feel like what it is he moves his hands in this very methodical spell casting motion, and he utters some incantations in the draconic language, but it ends with him like pulling back and letting like a dragon roar into the air, which is the sort of like final gesture to call forth these spirits.
All right, so yeah, as Varanus is going through this whole ritual, those of you especially tied to that have magical talents, right, feel the air become a little bit chillier, right, drops a couple degrees as he's going through his chanting, and as he roars, you feel this his roar turns into the roar of almost a dozen other draconic warriors as the Phantom crew
Oh, yeah.
emerges. Come on, show players. You can do it.
I can see it.
Well, you can see the token, but I was trying to show the sheet to hopefully give them a better picture. But regardless, so yes, you see these phantom dragonborn warriors that all emerge and coalesce around Varanus as if summoned to his call, and they all stand there, almost swaying, not even with all just eyes on Varanus, like they're waiting for his command. And of course, Hal immediately starts being like, "Oh, what's going on? What is this magic?"
Yeah, I don't think I like even turn like a millimeter to acknowledge him at all, because this moment has like been so overwhelming. I think I probably stagger back a couple of steps and then like rush forward like near these spirits, and probably am like quite the emotional kind of presence there. And so I just don't heed the words of like Hal for a moment. But after like taking in the image of these spirits, I think I maybe do finally like look around and am now like aware of, I'm sure, all the crew like staring at this.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, that's better.
I think I probably direct the first words that I say kind of toward the direction of Bungo, seeing as how Magnus is also contained within him, and I'm just like, they've come back.
Aye. Well, in Draconic, the 10 ghostly voices, right, echo as you say, come back, right, with this roar of triumph. Although, it still has this very, breathy, ethereal quality to it. Like, it's not real vocal cords that are producing this sound. It's almost like the sea wind is
Well, and I
speaking.
feel like the language that they use, the way that they utter it, that's like this huge reaffirmation to me that it's like, this is really them. Like, this is no trick. Like, and I just like kind of raise my staff and am like all jazzed up by this as well. And I turn toward Amaran and I say, Captain, if you'd allow it, I think you may have some more crew.
Omara nods and does a bravo magic. It's wonderful.
I'm tearing up a little bit. That was emotional. That was
Goes back to
cool.
what he was doing.
Yeah, dope.
So I think, basically once we all like, it becomes clear, I basically tell them like, the quest of the Erosiak is not finished, not yet, and I start like having them help us out with the ship and to listen to our captain.
Awesome. Yeah, so these spirits, like, basically when you tell them to start, getting to, attending to duties and stuff, they sort of disappear and become even less sort of tangible as they're sort of going about. You can almost see the rigging on the ship, right? And wheels being turned, almost as if like nothing is there doing it, but occasionally you catch those wisps of ghostly essence that are trailing behind these actions. So it looks like almost your ship itself is somewhat animated by the presence of this ghostly crew.
All right, baby, the Phantom crew is in action.
Absolutely. Let's see. Meanwhile, Hal is very still much like, but Captain Omar, How could you let spirits work aboard this ship? You know
Traded
ships.
one racist for another.
It's racist.
Yeah.
I mean,
Greyhaven
obviously.
was having a MAGA rally. That's the.
Huh.
It was just unfortunate timing.
I mean, that was Sindriel wouldn't join because this guy was a Black Rift, and now this guy's mad that he's here because he's got to deal with the undead.
You're right.
Mark's gonna like turn to Hal and pull him aside and say, Hal, you know, there's magic everywhere. He does like a puff of druid craft to determine the weather and like, you know, calls a seagull by to land on his arm and like talks to the seagull and like all sorts of druid shit. He
Sweetness
says,
is like,
Hal, you're okay with this. You're okay with talking to the fish and the creatures and the birds and seeing through their eyes. Why not a crew of magic?
It's not magic. It's not magic, Venice. It's foul. Using.
Do I hear him? Do I hear him saying this? Does Varanus hear him say this?
Well, Omarin, did you take Hal aside?
Well, I mean, I pulled him like sort of aside to the stern of the ship near the helm, but that doesn't mean it's far enough away. I make a perception check. See if you hear him.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Let's see here. I would say no.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
probably
still
a bit too enthralled.
Yeah,
with
you're a
what
bit swept
what
up
has
with
happened.
your recent
Yes.
accomplishment.
Fair
And so
enough.
Hal has like it's not just magic, it is manipulating the spirits of the dead. You know what the ship becomes when it's crewed by the damned? This becomes a damned ship.
Oh no, they're not damned. They're not. It's just it is ethereal spirits. And I sort of snap my hands and like one of them just I guess knows and comes over because it's magic.
Well, yeah,
Ow.
because yeah.
Yeah, I did tell them to listen to you.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, and I guess they like whether they into it or not, whatever. I call one over, say, oh, like, look, it's just a spirit. I mean, are these things
Just-
sentient at all?
That's hard to say. Of course, Varanus just cast this, or just sort of manifested this for the first time, so he really doesn't understand it much either at this point. But from the way they do respond to commands, and that they not only commands, but they also voiced their own sort of agreement and huzzah, with Varanus, they do seem to have some sort of sentience. Yes.
I'm gonna like call one of the spirits over and try to like talk to it. So Marin's kind of like, magic, it's everywhere, whatever. He's not very fazed by weird magical shit.
Yeah.
So he's gonna try to talk to it and say, Spirit, do you have a name?
The spirit considers it, sort of looks off into the distance for a second, and it tries to speak, but as it just comes out as almost this imperceptible whisper.
Oh, that's great. We're gonna call you Toby. He's gonna turn to Hal and say, Hal, this is Toby. He seems like a pretty good spirit. Oh, what are you worried about?
Yes, I mean, of course, the servants, the dead, serve well enough until they turn and eat you.
So, like, Amarin, like, takes his hand and, like, tries to put it in the spirit's mouth and be like, I guess, bite?
What?
The spirit,
And it bite my hand.
and the spirit clamps down.
It, like, kind of goes
Yeah,
through, right?
well, you feel a little almost pressure on your bones inside your hand. Nothing that breaks skin or bruises or anything, but just you feel it.
Pretend like I didn't feel anything and say, "Oh, look, they're not gonna eat us. They can't even, they just kind of
Make a deception check.
Yeah, okay. I'll see how we do. That's fair. I will make a deception check. I'm never good at
With
this.
the D4?
It's good enough because there was no actual
Wait a second, hold on.
visible
He
damage.
rolled a
D4 for
rolled a
damage,
D4.
yeah.
For deception?
No,
Oh, that was
for
for damage.
Yeah,
I
the
see. Oh,
damage
he
to
took
him.
damage from it. Okay.
Oh yeah, he took 1 damage. But you being the captain and there apparently being no visible evidence that they've injured you, Hal's like, oh well, I suppose that if they can't, but they can't harm you, and yet they can interact with the ship. I don't understand.
Al, you're not supposed to understand. It's magic.
But it's magic steering the ship. What if they steer us into a rock?
I mean, what if, and I point to I point to Sweetness. I'm like, what if that guy steers us into a rock?
Well, is he going to be driving the ship? I don't think so.
I mean,
Absolutely
we
not.
don't have a phantom crew.
Well, as long as I get to stay at the helm, I suppose I control the rudder, even if the.
So when you look over at Sweetness, he has like an Erlenmeyer flask, and as the spirits are walking by, he's trying to like see if he can.
I could also be driving the ship. You okay with that?
Well, that's not really his job. I mean, in a pinch, but I'd rather have a meat hand on the wheel than nothing.
Lauren's gonna lean in and say, I bet if we talk to Baroness, we could give the meat hands.
And that might be worse, actually.
No. How, that was a joke. That was a joke.
Oh. Do you mean... do you mean you were saying we should feed them meat hands? Do they got a taste for it now?
No, what if their hands became meat, like little sausage fingers? Little hot dog hands.
Well, I don't know how that Dragonborns have sausage fingers, but... they're kind of scaly.
Don't overthink it. It's okay, trust them, but just trust them a little bit. Maybe a little bit, you can trust them a little bit more every day. Maybe after weeks and months of them being perfectly good crewmen who never talk back or call the grog or fall asleep on duty, you'll come around to them.
Oh, why don't you make a persuasion check here?
I'm going to take a story point on this.
Sure.
Not a bad call.
I'm not very good at this. This is my dumb stat. I mean, I got 11.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, again, right, because of
Played
your
it at
role
one.
because of your role as captain, you're able to assuage Hal's fear and says, well, I've worked with unsavory crew, I suppose, before, so well, maybe you're right. I'll just he gives himself a little gesture around his forehead, right? Probably to some sort of god or whatever, He's like, may the Light Father keep me safe from these spirits. But I'll trust you, Captain. Hal Hawkshaw stands behind his captain. Okay. Interesting. So, as the days sort of start to roll on, as you're steaming across the Great Sea towards the Blazing Isles, what would you all like to do during downtime, basically, during this week? Sweetness, you've already sort of given an indication, right? Investigating your wound, and good berries, and probably
And
the
again,
Phantom Crew.
Yeah, I would say various. I think if Omarin pulls up some fish, I think he's constantly has his little journal. He's drawing things. He's taking little scientific notes and stuff. I do think as far as contributions to any of the work that is not medicinal or naturalistic in some capacity, he's sort of like, oh, someone else could. Like he's very reluctant to
Well,
grab a rope or anything.
Yeah. Well, that's your role on the ship, right? You're not a deckhand, right? So you are accorded
I'm glad
that level
the Phantom Crew's here.
right. Yeah, they're definitely taking. You would have basically had to help during, if the Phantom Crew hadn't been here to assist in the voyage.
Yeah. So yeah, he's just I think investigating.
All right. Well, why don't you make me, an investigation check?
Oh, you know what? I'd love to.
Towards your projects.
And I have expertise.
Yes,
so.
you've now gained.
Yeah,
Perhaps, you develop this expertise, right? You now have time. You've killed, right, or you've at least now wounded, right, several in several fights, right? You've played on your strengths of anatomy. You've been investigating this special wound that you got from the Black Rift wand.
And we have one of those, don't we? We have
Yes.
the one that we got from the. So I think he's also been looking at that.
Mm-hmm. So basically, you figure out that if you recall, right, in the tower, one of the Black Rifters had mentioned had mentioned doom powder.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so you find both on the bullet as well as the metal tube, right, of this wand.
Sorry.
That
I didn't mean to click that.
Oh, it's okay. No worries.
You cast augury?
On the other hand, you could scribe that scroll.
That's what I was gonna do.
Oh,
That's why I was trying to look at it. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. So, Sweetness, through your investigations, you scrape off little bits of this black residue from the bullet, as well as the special wand, and you use your alchemical processes to distill it, and you find it is composed of charcoal, saltpeter, and sulfur.
Okay. We're gonna make a bomb, boys.
All right.
And we're gonna make Lux swallow it.
Oh, I like this plan. I like this already.
Oh yeah.
Now you're talking.
How far can the Phantom Crew exist away from the ship?
I think. Let me click on my crew.
Yeah,
thing.
you can show it's a long ability.
Within 100 feet.
That's where you summon them.
You may command the crew if it's within 100 feet of you. If you don't issue a command, it just takes the dodge.
So Yeah, basically, there's no real limit to how far they could exist. It's just they would only carry out the sort of last set of orders they were given, or just sort of protect themselves. Yeah. And of course, yes, Varanus also has special orders unique to the Phantom crew
Yeah.
that will come into play.
I was gonna say about the downtime, or I want to make sure, Blake, did you finish your downtime stuff?
He was just giving me the chemical
the breakdown.
that
Well,
I discovered.
And sort of putting together, right? You're familiar with saltpeter, right? It grows in usually dung, right? Heaps, things like that. It's full of nitrogen, right? Compounds. You imagine that at least most of this, if not all of these ingredients, could probably be found among the Blazing Isles, being volcanic archipelago. So it's possible, yeah, you might be able to find and harvest these raw components and then experiment to make your own version of whatever this substance is.
We'll be doing that.
Yeah.
Other thing, this is, I think, just more for flavor. I want to follow up on the sort of like weekly physicals. I do think, crew members might turn around and Sweetness has like a tape measure and he's, taking their height and,
Real Dr. Zoidberg vibes.
Yeah. I think he's just constantly gathering data.
Right. Well.
on everybody. And I think in the future, I will probably employ my herbalism kit, my alchemical stuff to make.
Well, it feels like it must be awfully hard since you've never actually seen Kylem's body. You don't know how he's doing under there.
To measure my armor as much as you want.
I think maybe that's almost a point of annoyance. That I think Sweetness is continually.
I'll happily go to whatever physical you want. It's just you want to measure. See how tall the armor is.
He's like, your breastplate is holding up very well.
Very sturdy. I'm subtracting inches, from your height and your such things. But I do think Sweetness is sort of he's like, you should see me personally. And I think maybe there are some awkward visits where he's inviting the crew, into like, come on, we'll do your checkup, turn your head and cough.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, just for flavor.
Absolutely. All right. So, Varanus, you had downtime activity.
I'm actually looking at this. I was just gonna say, these are the only two things I think I would do. So, I don't know second level spells yet. So I don't know if I could memorize it from a scroll since I don't know that level. Could I? Or...
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't be able to. I'd say you wouldn't be able to prepare it, but you could still scribe it into your spell book for later use.
So then once I did have level 2 slots, I would automatically know that one like in advance. Or okay, well then I'd like to split up my downtime basically scribing that. I forget exactly how long it takes, and I know.
It wouldn't take too long. You could probably do that in a day, but it does require you to have special inks and so forth.
Yes.
Scribe.
So perhaps if you would allow, I spent the money on that before I left the Alabaster Academy, since I was, bartering and information and whatnot. I may have had a bit of a time to purchase before I went back to the dock.
Yeah. So as long as you had the funds, I think it's 25 gold pieces per level of the spell or something like that.
Right. So that's level 2, so it would be 50, right?
Yeah, I think so. But we can look that up in intervening time, just to make sure.
Yeah, so I'll learn that spell scroll, and then I have this Sharktooth longsword that I spent some time toward learning. I think this is the perfect opportunity where you maybe see me on deck, and with my summoned crewmates, I'm learning to use this new weapon, and we're like sparring, but I'm sparring being like flanked by 2 Phantom Dragonborn, and we're kind of going at it, like probably in a way that's unique to the way that we all learn to fight and whatnot.
Sure. And
So,
using,
yeah.
yes, the shark tooth longsword, right, is it's kind of a specialty sword because you have to use it a little differently from most, metal edge swords, right? So, yeah. So with you got plenty of time to work with your crew to also, you're figuring out how they work at the same time, right? That you're learning to use the sword, right? You're testing their reflexes, right, and their memory and combat ability. See what they have taken back from the other side. However, as much as even if you try to talk to them, um, aside from general assertions of yes and no, right, things like that, they really can't actually vocalize anything.
I see.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
seem to understand you perfectly well.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, I just spend my time. I believe after this downtime, I'll be proficient in it.
Yeah,
now,
you'll
right?
be proficient by the end of this downtime. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So yeah, that's what I do.
All right. Who else got any ideas for downtime? Omarin?
Sure. So Omarin is gonna do. I don't know mechanically how we would represent this, but it's up to you, Zach. So the primary thing that he's gonna be doing is just, like looking at the weather patterns and using Druidcraft and things like that to try to steer the ship into fair weather and prevailing winds, fair winds and fair weather, and keep out of sort of the way of storms and opposing currents, things like that. That is
Cool.
not something mechanically that can really happen.
I totally think that sounds like basically a navigator's navigation check, or a survival check. Either one.
Yeah, I'll roll survival. That makes sense.
All right. Oh. All right. So, yeah. So yeah, you're definitely gonna have some pretty large advantage on not only reaching the Blazing Isles with fair time, but also navigating them, because you've heard, right, that these being volcanic islands are pretty dangerous for sailors, and stuff like that. So you're sort of using the charts and the map you have, right? Maybe trying to plot your best route into this archipelago, this cluster of islands. Cool. What about Kylan or Bungo?
So I mean, I do enjoy putting on a story each night, but also I think I take that as an opportunity, sort of before and after, to sort of like speak with the crew and sort of just sort of keep a general feel for like I sort of think of myself unofficially as like ship psychologist. I want to make sure nobody's like getting too depressed, or like make sure everybody's like on board with the quest and all that stuff.
You are learning all kinds of things you didn't expect about Sweetness's family. As soon as he gets comfortable, it's way more than you wanted.
Oh no.
Relationships with he's like ready to do the deep work.
Unofficial psychologist.
Yeah, like family of origin stuff. He's going there.
Oh no.
Office hours only. Yeah.
Of course, I think.
All right. Well, in addition to that, did you also want to be perhaps working on that piece of dragon bone you got there?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So, do you have any tool proficiencies you think would be applicable?
Well, yes and no, because let's see, I gained proficiency with a set of tools when I hit 3rd level, but I don't know what set of tools would be appropriate to
this sort of thing.
yeah,
Well,
whittling.
I'd say whittling. Whittling would probably be appropriate, or woodcarver's tools I think could also work. Because all those substances are a little different. You'd be using the same sorts of augers and
Right. Yeah.
shape, planes, right, to smooth out, right. So
Yeah, exactly.
either one of those I think would be appropriate.
Yeah, that makes sense. So right, and it basically goes along with like my shipwright stuff to have the carpentry, the wood carving stuff. So so I'll be working on that in my spare time.
Well, why don't you make me a check with those tools?
Sure. So basically it comes out to a d20 plus my proficiency bonus,
plus
right?
your proficiency. Well, and you get an ability modifier, but which ability modifier would depend on sort of how you're approaching this task, right? Are you being very delicate? It is dragon bone, so it is tough, for sure.
Right.
So I might say probably a strength check with these tools,
Sure.
with your proficiency.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Just sort of grinding away slowly at these bones. Oh, and the
goodness.
nat 20.
All right. Well,
We needed one.
it comes together, you carve through the dragon bone. You find the marrow is less tough than you expected for the dragon bone. So once you sort of get in the middle of this, I think it was a thigh bone, right? Maybe a shin bone.
Yeah, like a big straight like leg bone.
Yeah. That you're able to carve much more easily through it than you expected, right? You make the holes and you come out with a very, very nice sounding dragon bone flute.
Once I have completed its carving and I feel like it's ready for like a full test song, I'll climb up to the crow's nest and play like a sort of somber but hopeful tune early in the morning as I complete the work, and we approach the Blazing Isles. Yeah.
Cool. Love it. And what about Kylan?
Yeah. So I'm really thinking, like, is there like a proficiency or something, like a tool proficiency that maybe I could be suitable? I'm looking to sort of fill gaps or do something that we don't necessarily have ourselves figured out yet. Maybe the crew's been working on. Because up till now, basically, as we've been sort of going around, right, at first Kylan probably doesn't seem very good at a lot of stuff. Like, there's a lot of complicated stuff with the sails and things with, like, navigative tools and things that he doesn't really know how to use. But you also see him spending a lot of time meditating at the bow of the ship, just, like, sitting out there, basically at the end of every day, meditating on something, sort of going in, like, an elvish trance for an hour or so. And he was always sort of coming back the next day, seeming to like mastered whatever he wasn't good at yesterday. That like before he didn't really know how to work the sails or anything, but by the time the next day comes around, it seems like he's got it all figured out. And of course, because I have the adaptive ability as part of my class, which is that I can basically switch up a proficiency that I have from one thing to another by doing an hour-long ritual. So basically every day I'm kind of switching and trying something new and making sure that I have some proficiency and the various skills of running a ship. But maybe while it's all going, I could get. I don't know if there's like maybe just a general piloting thing might be it. Sort of running a ship kind of tool set.
Yeah, I would say that falls along the lines of maybe like
Water vehicles or something?
well, yeah, maybe water vehicles with charisma, because you're managing the ship, not just like you're not necessarily driving the ship, right? But you're seeing that things are
Yeah.
properly functional, that the crew is working together, right?
Yeah, I'm really trying to understand all of it, and not just understand like the mechanics of it, but also like who does what and like how are they doing it, and what did I not know before about how how we worked the sails, how we read the weather, how we did these things, and sort of come to the end of the day with like I get it, like I have an understanding of what they do, how they do it, how important it is. That's kind of like the core drive here, and presumably like if something goes wrong in the future or if there's some desperate situation, I'll be able to step in and help out or take over or something like that.
All right, all right. So since you're going for this more, I guess this understanding angle, maybe I don't know, maybe
Insight.
sure. I mean, yeah,
That seems
yeah.
A
like
discerning. I don't know. I'm spitballing here.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I will say like insight lets me use is like wisdom. Maybe it's more of like a wisdom because I think water vehicles with another attribute makes sense, like as a concept here.
Or yeah, or wisdom
broadly,
with
it could
water
just be-
vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah, or it could just be a general, or it could be a rule of like when I do a nautical themed skill check with that uses something, I get like advantage on it. Something like that is like a kind of class bonus or something like that to be advantage on these rolls, right? That would make sense. While you're thinking about that, I have a simpler thing, which is also that while we had those like pirates on board, their bodies,
Yeah.
presumably they had some gear on them. First off, I'll make sure that the bodies are disposed of properly as according to Amaran's orders. No weird leaving them to the fishes stuff. But also, if any of them have to be carrying a rapier, I would take note of that and take it.
Oh yeah, and their guns. Do we get some guns?
None of them had guns. Black Rifters are the only ones that had
Yeah.
guns. And none
Yeah, that's
of
a
these...
blacker thing, not a pirate thing. The pirates are the only ones who boarded.
Right.
Right. Okay.
We're going back.
We'll meet the Black Rifters again.
We're going back. We're loading up on guns. Turn it around. No.
Yeah, well, I'll say one of the normal pirates was carrying sort of a rapier as a backup weapon.
I appreciate that. Obviously, I would have bought it at the store, but I didn't realize that wasn't going to be an option for a few minutes.
And why don't you also roll 4d10, Kylan. All right.
14,
well,
nice and low.
Yeah, you come up with 14 gold pieces worth of loose change from the pirates.
They were broke.
Well, they needed a
I
ship.
distribute them amongst the crew.
That's
I guess
why they
we can
were
all have.
attacking.
We can all have, I guess, 3 gold or something. So enjoy that, everybody.
Yes.
Oh,
Well, note now, right now that you have a ship and a crew, everyone will require, or there'll be wages required. Of course, not for the Phantom crew; they work for free.
for
but
now.
well, yeah.
Yeah,
for their-
well, their currency is revenge. That's all.
So we'll go over this in the intervening weeks, but yes, at the end of every month there will be maintenance slash wages to pay, including wages paid to each of the player characters as portions of that. So
That's right. Amaran's got to pay us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
the responsibility of the captain to make sure those things happen. But as
Is it
we
too
are,
early to ask for a raise?
I mean, you are providing 10 crew in addition
You
to
are
yourself.
providing 10 crew. I'll think about it.
Look, I already need an extra 5 gold to cover the these frayed ropes, okay, that those pirates cut when we escaped, okay? This has to go into maintenance.
Put in a formal request.
Okay.
Uh,
Formal request for ropes? What kind of shit are we running around here?
I'm done.
it'll be tighter when you put all those ropes up.
That's right.
Oh, there you go, Zach.
Yeah. All right. Well, as it is past 8 o'clock on the west coast here, I think this is a good point to say goodbye, and we'll see you in 2 weeks when our crew arrives at the desperate and dangerous straits of the Blazing Isles, a place not taken lightly.
We could just not go there. I mean,
I
they're
didn't know this
desperate,
was
dangerous.
desperate and dangerous. Hang on. Hold
But
up.
Scarlet Kate's treasure, you fool!
They have saltpeter.
No, you're right. No, we need the for treasure assault. We
And-
need the star medal.
Right, and
star
remember the compass is pointing directly into the Isles, yes.
We've got
as well.
many good reasons to brave the danger there, so full sail ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
We could really use some treasure because the crew is expensive.
Let's do it.
Also
Let's do
true.
Like we need like 400. How many weeks until we pay the cruise?
You've basically got a full month because they just started. So,
Okay.
Okay.
3.
In approximately 30 days, we will need 400 and change gold for the crew. and
Yeah, let's get the treasure.
All right.
Yeah.
Next time,
Pockets ticket.
the Blazing Isles.
The
To
Blazing
the Blazing
Isles.
Isles.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I will see you in 2 weeks. In the meantime,
Later,
take care.
y'all.
And thanks.